Good evening, folks, and welcome to the first Howling at the Moonsault podcast. I'm Tim Lewis, famous for losing playoff finals to Steve Hood in the Football Manager community. But we're not here to talk about Football Manager, we're here to talk about wrestling, and in particular Wrestlemania 17, which is widely regarded as one of the best WrestleManias of all time. Although Eloise, who's above me there, might disagree with that because she likes more modern WrestleManias. And this will become a theme. This will become a theme as we go along, where I like the old stuff because I'm old school and ancient. I'm nearly 34. By the time this goes out, I will probably actually be 34. These two are a lot younger than me, so they have completely different opinions, and they grew up in a completely different era to me. They find lots of the stuff from the Attitude Era completely disgusting, and to be honest, so do I, looking back on it. But
yeah, I mean,
yeah, some of it is really bad, isn't it? Let's be honest. But at the time, it made them money, and it was acceptable in the world at the time. So we'll go through all these things as we go along. So if you'd like to introduce yourself, guys, obviously Malteser Falcon needs no introduction to anybody in the Football Manager community. Top drafter.
I mean, top drafter. I wouldn't say I'm top drafter. I'm 48 now. I'm very middling drafter, I'd say.
Former heavyweight champion.
Yeah, former heavyweight champion, and I'm unbeaten against Tim, so I can say that, and Hood as well. So who Tim
and
unbeaten.
More importantly for this podcast, massive wrestling fan.
Yes, I'm really a massive wrestling fan. Yes, I have been watching since. I watched a bit when I was. Started watching more when I was towards like A7 or 8 or whatever. Started watching that era, then fell off, then came back in. I want to say it was around that 2016. Then so I have been more exposed to, more modern wrestling stuff. But I have watched various old pay-per-view reviews. Basically, the old pay-per-views I can't be able to watching because they're too long. But the pay-per-view reviews and stuff by various other YouTubers such as Brian Zane and all that. They're all they're very informative. So because basically I roughly know what's happening in both tables, roughly. Sort of.
Oh. And joining us, many people may not have seen Eloise before. Eloise does stream Football Manager, among other things, I believe. But a more new face, and please welcome her. Drop a comment and tell her she's brilliant because she is. Eloise, would you like to introduce yourself to everybody, please? How did you get into wrestling?
How did I get into wrestling? Actually, I'm a lot newer. 2010, so around the pandemic, I started watching. Because I originally was a sort of a person who was like, "Oh, I never watch wrestling; it's fake. I'd rather watch like combat sports and stuff, like MMA and stuff, and boxing." But and then kind of got sick of that, and then got into wrestling because it's just stupid, and I find that a lot more entertaining because it's just stupid and fun and a lot more impressive.
And it's a lot of big sweaty men, which you like.
Big sweaty men. Meaty men slapping meat, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, yeah. That is also a reason. But yeah, wrestling is just more fun.
The more silly wrestling is, the better. And all that died with kayfabe, but we'll go into that.
Here we go
along.
So how about you, Tim? Seeing as you are the elder statesman of the group, how did you get into
old man a long time ago in 1988.
Ancient times.
Which was ancient times to people like you guys. So I am old enough to remember Bret Hart being big, Shawn Michaels being big back in the day. Those two were incredible. And then it was obviously I grew up as a sort of 10-year-old, 11, 12, 13, those years when wrestling was absolutely enormous in the late 90s with The Rock, Stone Cold, Triple H, Undertaker, Kane, Mankind, and I lived through all of it, which you guys, because you're too young, didn't. That was without doubt when wrestling was at its hottest. It was absolutely ginormous back then, absolutely huge. Everyone in my school loved wrestling. Well, the boys anyway, not most of the girls. They didn't like it.
Yeah.
But amongst the male. The male element in particular, it was very, very, very popular. I can see why the females didn't like it so much because a lot of it was very, very unfemale friendly.
Yeah,
as we'll discuss.
It was definitely aimed. It definitely aimed at the male kind of.
Lots of boobs.
Yeah.
It was at the time very, very special to lots and lots of people, and like literally, it was like I used to wake up in the morning and get the laptop out and have a look to see who'd won the titles and stuff because I couldn't afford the pay-per-views and whatever. But you'd get the graphics on the WWF website as it was then, and you'd see which one had the belt, whether it was Stone Cold or The Rock or whatever it was, and everyone in my school was doing the same thing because everybody loved it. So that's how I got into it, and then. Around the era when John Cena just kept winning everything all the time, and it went away from being more R-rated, I suppose they'd call it in America. The sort of 15 over here to down to the PG. I lost interest in it because they lost their kayfabe, they lost their element of surprise, they lost their writing, and it just went really bland. And I don't think it's ever recovered. Although I appreciate some of the modern stuff, I don't enjoy it anymore. But I love watching the old ones. So I'm very well up on the old ones. So we're going to have me being the old school WWE expert, and these two as the more modern people. So hopefully it's a good blend.
Yes, Tim is going to fill in the role of old man yells at cloud for a lot of this.
Yes, I was thinking that too.
Yeah, the whole.
But yeah, the more like up to date stuff I would know, and then like the middle ground. I suppose Mal, but Mal just has lots of useless.
Basically, most of my brain is filled with useless knowledge, and quite a bit of that is wrestling. So you can call upon me for random various wrestling facts throughout the podcast if you want to. There's probably quite a bit to talk about here because there is quite a few interesting little tidbits that come up throughout the show that we can have a sort of behind the scenes sort of there's a word for it, things that occur.
Yeah, right. So I shall get my notes out because we have all watched WrestleMania 17. And shall we just discuss the show briefly? Because we are actually going to review live the Triple H, Undertaker, and Stone Cold and Rock matches. But the rest of the show, because obviously it would be about a 4.5-hour podcast, this, if we did the entire thing. We'll just we'll summarize through the other matches and give them a score.
Yes.
If we can. If I miss any, just let me know. I am old and forgetful.
Yeah, I assume we did the same scoring system.
I presume we did. Yeah. Did we all do the A, B, C sort of stuff? Can we translate it? You can translate it. Close enough. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I did that. Mal did that. So okay.
Yeah, cool. Yes, that's good. The first one I say is essentially X7 is a bit of a weird title because it sort of combines like a weird sort of Roman numerals and sort of like a word into a title.
Because it's spelled like X and then -7.
Yeah, I think it's something that people always get confused about, whether it's like X7 the letter or number or something like that. It's just a bit of an odd thing to do. Then we get the big opening package with classy Freddie Blassie going through various WrestleMania moments. In here, he has a very lovely voice. It does seem a bit out of place with the rest of the pay-per-view though, which is all sort of in-your-face brash, and then they've got Freddie Blassie just going in his very soothing voice, just recounting like WrestleMania 1 and all that. And we have the theme, which is a banger. We do things my way.
Mm-hmm.
It's my way or
the highway.
When we were watching, we would just sing along to it.
Yeah, we were basically just singing along to
it. It is a huge banger.
Yeah, it is a banger.
Yeah.
And the Wrestlemania is of course sponsored by the most metal of sponsors, Snickers Cruncher.
Yes.
At least it's not Burger King.
At least it's not
Many of them back in the day were Burger King. Have it your way.
Yeah, it seems to be Burger King, Snickers, or like some sort of castor oil was quite a common one back in the day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Sponsor wise, yeah. What can you say?
No, I was just saying it was great hearing like super serious Paul Heyman go and say like the Snickers catchphrase, which I can't remember exactly. Did I write it somewhere? Yeah, it was pretty great.
Yeah, Paul Heyman's brilliant, by the way.
Oh yeah, Paul Heyman. Really excited to see him.
Yeah.
That must have been like right where ECW died.
Yeah, speaking of commentators, this is I think the first appearance of Paul Heyman on the pay-per-view as a commentator. So this is pretty much would have been. I don't think ECW was dead yet. I think it still had some Like,
No, I think if it was the first appearance to Paul Heyman, then
I think Paul Heyman.
that was ECW's Death Door.
I mean, the King's great and all that,
Yeah.
Jerry Lawler, but there is a lot of puppies, isn't there?
Yeah,
It's
so,
puppies
yeah,
a lot.
it is.
Oh, yeah.
It is a lot of puppies. Let's just say.
I
and
really like
yeah,
the combination.
and Paul Heyman is actually like good as the color commentator, especially when he's being as heelish as he is. Just sort of like it's much better like a heel Michael Cole commentary if anyone remembers that. If anyone at home knows, but I don't think either of you two would. But it was.
I do. It was.
I'm
rubbish.
aware of it.
Yeah, it was.
I'm aware of it.
Certainly something. Let's just say that.
Was that around the time of the laptop?
Yes, I wasn't. Yes,
The email.
the anonymous world general manager. That was just a laptop. Yes. That could be something we could cover in a future episode if you want to back our heads against brick walls.
Oh, such a great surprise. No,
so moving on, first match. We won't go too deep into these matches because obviously they're not on the pre-card, and apart from the Kurt Angle one, they're not all that memorable. I don't think any of them really. They're good matches, but look, there's not really a great deal of quality to go to it. Jericho versus William Regal.
This
could have been better than it was.
Yeah, this is essentially the piss tea angle. If anyone knows
what
that is. Piss in tea angle.
And there seems to be a lot of build up for the feud. Like there was a lot of like.
Yeah.
For just an opening WrestleMania match, there was a lot of stuff they did to build it up, and it was.
Well, this is the thing,
just
though.
Being a good heel.
This is the thing, though. These angles that they came up with the tea and that time when Kane spilt coffee. No, Jericho spilt coffee on Kane, didn't he, to start a feud? These things for the 3 or 4 weeks before, they build it up on Raw fundamentally to sell Raw, because they had to sell Raw to the audience to compete for the ratings with WCW. WCW's just died at this point, isn't it? But that was what they used to do. They used to use story, and build the story up to the pay-per-view. So what happens at the pay-per-view is its own thing. It's basically a match, but they've sold the entertainment of Raw to get the ratings for Raw up during the weeks. So things like piss tea and all that sort of stuff isn't really all that important to anyone in that arena, is it? It's just the match. You're there to watch the match. So the actual stories weren't all that important, I don't think. But it's more about the overall package. And when you think about the pay-per-view, it's just literally you have to entertain with your match because you've got to entertain the people in the audience, or they go cold on you.
Yeah.
This one,
later on, I think.
But this one, all I'm going to say about it, I'm going to give it a C. Are we doing letters for?
Yeah, letters.
Yeah. So I'm going to give it a C. I was surprised there were no brass knuckles involved because that was William Regal's thing back in the day. No brass knuckles, didn't even bother with that. And Jericho finished on a lion salt, which came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Jericho.
That was
no walls of Jericho.
That was something I had down as well. And I think lion salt was Jericho's finisher at one point, but it did this match did seem like it was basically like they did the move and then they ended it. There wasn't really much in a way of like much build up. There was like there's a couple of nice spots with like I think there's a time when like Jericho was trying to do the lion tame and Regal was able to reverse it to like a Regal stretch, which was basically lots of nice grappling and all that. And but it was a bit short, I'd say. Like Jericho Regal, you would expect that. I'm not sure how long the match was. It was less than 10 minutes, wasn't it?
I
didn't have the. I should write next
something like that.
Yeah, I should have the time up, and it was 7 minutes 40 seconds.
Okay.
So yeah.
So scores, people.
Wait, Malcolm say.
Okay. So I voted it as a B minus basically because it was decent. It was basically good stuff, but it just needed to go a bit longer. Basically, I reckon it could have done with another 5, maybe 10 minutes.
So I liked the match. It was a good opener. I would just say, since someone said it, William Regal is outstanding. Really good technical wrestler and fantastic heel.
Yes.
Like William Regal as heel is fantastic. Because at the time wasn't he commissioner?
Yeah, so he was commissioner, and his commissioner. He had like an office. He sort of brought to every single arena with all this stuff on his desk, and obviously pissed.
Office.
Yes, the office. Yes, that was just essentially just like a
set.
sort of set up in the locker room, whatever it was.
Yeah,
Or
But,
some hallway backstage.
But yeah, it was. I liked the match. It was too short, but it was definitely a match where they cut it for time of other shenanigans in the pay-per-view.
yeah. Do you want to give it a score then, Eloise?
C.
Yeah, I think just to conclude that one, I think that the problem is when you've got a card as stacked as this one, even the mighty Chris Jericho and the amazing William Regal get pushed out to the fringes. These days, that would be the main event, but it ends up first on the card and for a very forgettable match, as was the case later with the Eddie Guerrero match, but we'll come to that later.
Yeah.
Right.
I will say before moving on, this is a bit of a weird one to have as an opener. Like I know it's sort of like a big nasty heel versus sort of like a nice little baby face, and it's been going for a while, but didn't seem like it. I mean, it got the crowd going obviously because like his crowd was basically just the hottest thing in the entirety of existence. They were all hyped to most things.
Yeah.
But you would have thought sticking like you could have even put like a more flippy thing I mean even stuff like a Benoit angle later on. You could have thought that on first, get them hyped up, and then yeah,
I agree. So moving on, Taz and the APA versus Right to Censor.
This was a nothing match.
Yeah, exactly. The Right to Censor were incredibly annoying, but they were designed to be incredibly annoying.
Warning.
I mean, yeah,
Warning.
I hate the theme so much, but that's the point. But
yeah,
I hate it so much.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing we'll just rush. We'll get through this one because it was incredibly forgettable. But the only notes I made are that the pop for Taz was good at the beginning because Taz, let's not forget, was incredibly popular.
Yeah.
And for good reason.
Yeah.
The trouble was when you come to WWE or WWF as it was, from ECW and whatnot, the big guys get the pushes and the little guys don't.
Yeah.
And Taz really suffered from that. Became a good commentator after. But Taz is the only highlight of that match. Everything else is going through the motions.
Yeah.
You've got the Godfather doing, I assume it was called the No Train at the time.
I think it was the No Train at that time, yeah.
And stuff like that. And just,
because
hitting all the moves that you need to hit, basically.
Yeah, and the only other thing I've written, is I forgot Bull Buchanan was a thing. That's how forgettable he was.
Like, I think that Bull Buchanan stuck around for quite a while. I think he was in some sort of thing with John Cena when he was starting out as like his rapper thing. Like he was sort of like
B squared.
B squared. Yes. What a
yes, I don't know why I remember that. But B squared.
Yeah. It was certainly an inch. So he stuck around for a while and just didn't really do anything. I think this was his like most major angle, right? I don't remember him doing anything else.
Yeah, surely.
Yeah,
but one thing I noticed in the match was Farouk didn't wrestle at all.
Yeah,
it was literally just Bradshaw and Taz.
Yeah.
No Farouk at all.
Yeah,
that's how little it mattered.
He was getting on though, wasn't he? At that point.
Yeah, it was. The match failed to meet 4 minutes, so it was very short.
Yeah, and
very crap.
And there's also stuff like Jacqueline being there just to sort of stand around. It shouldn't really even get mentioned at all, really, apart from her coming down to the ring.
No,
I mean she was backstage earlier in when they were doing poker, but that's it.
Yeah. But what we'll say, the finishing clothesline is JBL. Good clothesline. JBL's clothesline is always great.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Right.
So I'm going to give it a C-.
So I've given it a D just because it's there more than anything else.
D. Same here.
So we're about the same so far.
It was meh.
And moving on to a much more interesting match. I used to love these as a kid. The hardcore match. I loved the hardcore championship. It was silly, but it was brilliant. Until they kind of ruined it at the end, where like 37 people would hold it per pay-per-view and stuff. It was just daft.
Yeah.
But Kane versus Raven versus The Big Show, it was really good. I thought I really enjoyed it. And basically, it's because you're going from the wrestling matches to a gimmick match, fundamentally. So you end up with the mixture, and I like mixtures. Variety is the spice of life. Yeah. And I appreciate the behind-the-scenes choreographed violence where they're throwing each other through fake walls and what sugar glass probably,
Yes.
and running each other over with golf carts. And then Raven, of course, jumps in the golf cart and nearly cuts the power to the whole
that's what I was
arena.
going to mention. Yeah, that
Mm.
was sort of very, very nearly cut out the entire pay-per-view feed, and would have
That
kind of
would've been
ruined the
fun.
event, which would have been fun.
Famously, yeah.
Yeah. The thing I said about this match is a lot of shit has happened. Lots of gubbins spots. So basically, whacking with signs, whacking with
It was
whatever's had to
chaos.
hand, and then it's chaotic, which isn't a bad thing, of course. But I think
No,
it is. It's very much a hardcore style of match, basically, and it's probably the most sort of recognized one. You think, I think the first thing people come to mind when you think of the hardcore style, you think of that spot with the golf cart, and maybe the stuff with Crash Holly later on, and all the sort when it became like the 24/7 rule with all the skits. But I think this is like
Crash Holly.
and I'd say there's usual lots of walky brawly stuff in between the choreographed spots.
Yes.
But
Let's
then
just guide them while beating the crap out of them.
Yeah, that's just sort of how these things work, I guess. You can't really because I mean, Big Show I don't think was at his physical peak at the time. Let's just say that. I think he was.
No, he's well out of shape. I've written that.
Yeah, I think he was.
he
think
was,
not too long after this he goes away because he has to go into like fat camp basically. I'm not sure how long after this, but it's not too long after this. And obviously you've got Kane, who's just who's a big guy, can do big guy stuff.
Yeah.
Well, this is best Kane,
Yeah.
without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, Kane's political views and whatnot completely differ to Tim's. Let's not talk about Glenn Jacobs. Let's talk about Kane from back then, before we knew. Kane's look here with the inverted mask, with the inverted colours, the red and the black are swapped over on the costume as well. He is jacked as hell. This is the most jacked Kane you'd ever see from that period, sort of 2000, 2001-ish Kane. He is in such good condition. When he comes off the top rope as well, he's so athletic. As well, he was very, 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 very good at what he did, Kane, back then.
Definitely.
So the only other thing I've written as well is Raven's pop at the beginning is appalling. You know, when Raven comes out with his trash can with all his
nobody
gimmick,
really did anything.
nobody cared at all.
I suppose he sort of had the whole thing with Taz where, because he came over from ECW, didn't really care after a certain point.
No one cared.
I don't think he even really did much in WWE outside the hardcore stuff. Like, it wasn't even that long, if I remember.
No.
The only thing I've got is the end of the match where they do the big jumpy thing off the stage into the big box of shit that just explodes.
That was rather good.
It's a great spot, but the ref counted on the side of the box, which is a bit weird. I can't say I've seen that happen before. Like where the ref just decided to go slap the wall instead of just counting properly.
I love these spots as well. With these spots back in the day. Have you noticed the powder?
Oh yeah, it just goes everywhere.
Just powder.
It's basically. I think it happens later on with the. It happens later on with the Triple H Undertaker match. Spoilers alert. Basically, whenever someone falls from a great height on something, just a shit ton of powder and sparks and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, and everyone probably sneezes.
So should we give it some scores? Have you got something to say, Eloise? Sorry.
Yeah, just quickly. What was I going to say? Oh yeah. So I think it's really good that Raven was in this match, because if it was just Kane versus Big Show, it would be a bit more boring and kind of like slog. It wouldn't work as well having someone smaller to throw into stuff and really just ragdoll around. While also being good at hardcore wrestling really helped guide the two that aren't as good at hardcore wrestling through the match. And
I do think Raven sort of serves its purpose well there in that sense.
For that fan, it was out of that match, I enjoyed most watching Raven. Like I preferred Raven over the other two. Watching that match, I felt he was the best out of the three. So good job he's in that match, in my opinion.
I'm going to give it a B because I enjoyed it.
Okay, I'm gonna give it a B minus, mainly because it's just spot after spot after spot, which isn't again not a bad thing, but it's very much the style of hardcore match, and I can't. Well, it's just it's a car crash entertainment, which again not a bad thing. It's just you just can't really, on the scale of other wrestling matches, you can only really rate it at a certain level.
And Eloise?
Eloise?
So shock horror, I rated the lowest C. It just compared to other matches, it was a bit more like just like barely wrestling, but it was sort of entertaining. That's why it's not anything lower. It was entertaining, but
Yeah.
average for a hug. Yeah, just didn't do anything to me.
Okie dokie. So now we move on to
So
Eddie Guerrero versus Test.
Yeah, just to interject, as the bits in between the matches, there was a bit where they cut to the crowd and they basically interviewed a fan who came over from Australia, which is basically the most time filler segment I've ever seen, where they basically just said, basically the fan said his most generic sort of responses ever. Are you here to see Austin win? Yay!
Yeah.
but in Australian accent.
Yeah.
And
No, are you gonna say the thing where the generic interviewer bloke says that they're broadcasting this live to all 50 states and 20 countries.
all 20 countries in the world.
and then he says 50 countries.
50 countries, yeah. This is so there's also a WWF New York segment, which is something we could talk about because that is one of WWE's wonderful failed projects. Where WWF New York, if anyone doesn't know, is basically the big restaurant they had in Times Square. They kept over for like a couple of years, but it was basically just to say, oh, we have this thing there, and occasionally cut away into during pay-per-views. This time it was Jimmy Snuka, which is an interesting appearance. I did not expect to see him at pay-per-view this late.
No.
And yeah, there's just cut away to WWF New York where people were going, yay!
Whoa! Wrestling.
Yeah. We also had a segment with Angle watching TV backstage at a normal angle, which is unusual for WWE. Like he's watching it straight on. What's this? What's this compared to nowadays?
Yeah, not behind the back.
Yeah, and then Angle's stablemate at this time, I think. Edge and Christian, sort of in like a bit of an alliance, weren't they, at the time? Where sort of came up to him, obviously, preparing inverted commas for a TLC match later on, and Angle's essentially just watching the segment from more of a tap to Chris Benoit's the cripple crossface.
Yeah.
So he just kept watching it about just going, I did not tap, which I think really built up the match quite well because it sort of showed how obsessed Angle was with it. Like it's a
heel Angle.
Like we'll say this sort of the little segments dropping in there, and this pay-per-view were really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. So moving on, Eddie Guerrero versus Test. My 2 cents on this is it's not going to last very long because it was a very unmemorable match. Eddie Guerrero was fabulous. Everyone loves Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah, of course. Diva La Rasta.
One of the best has ever been at what he did. For very good reason. Because he was very, 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 very good at the wrestling.
Yes.
Very, very good at high spots.
And
very, very good at the technical side of things. And very, very good on the microphone as well.
Yeah, just so great.
An absolute legend. On the other hand, Test. Both men, of course, died very young. Both of them are no longer with us anymore, tragically. But Test is one of these people who should have been given a gimmick because Test on his own couldn't sustain a high-level wrestling performance because he was very clumsy, very awkward in the ring.
Quite green, as they say, at this point.
Very
you could.
Was wrestling too long at this point either. Like I think
you could.
This was before he was going to marry Stephanie, I think.
Oh.
Or was it afterwards? No, it wasn't after this.
After,
it was after this because that was his first big thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then he
has his whole thing is he's big and he looks the part and he's got lovely hair.
He does. He looks great. But
you could tell that they were like really trying to push him as like a big baby face, and it just was not working because you could tell the crowd just did not care about him.
Yeah, crowd wasn't too bothered. Yeah.
No.
And it was. I wouldn't say this was one of Eddie's best matches. But going back to I think he tried to get the best out of Test.
Yeah. At the end of the day, when you're wrestling, you're in a dance with somebody, and if the partner's terrible, you're gonna look terrible.
There's only so
really.
much you could do.
Yeah, there's only so much you can do. So I think we'll just rush past this one. I'm going to give it a D because I really didn't like it. I didn't find anything to enjoy in it. Even with Eddie Guerrero in it, I still didn't find a way to enjoy it. So a D from Tim.
I'm going to give this a C minus. There was a bit of story in it. There was like the whole thing where sort of Tess was Eddie was targeting Tess leg after one of Eddie's mates, Perry Saturn with his weird hat, or Dean Malenko came in.
Yeah,
and whacked his leg.
I was going to mention.
Yeah.
Perry Saturn was in that for some reason.
Yeah,
I think it's the WCW angle.
It was a whole. I think the Radicals came in recently-ish. I think from WCW, which was like Benoit and those three. And yeah, Perry had a very weird hat. That's all I've got to say about Perry Saturn in this match. Yeah, but Test didn't really. I still think he didn't really. He was still quite green because he didn't like he sold the leg for a little bit. Then he just got up and just did the normal thing, which is really peeves me because you've just been whacked in the leg and worked over for several minutes. At least try and sell it a bit. But yeah, C minus for me because it was otherwise very
Yeah. So one thing I will mention is obviously the finish was the Malenko coming in. Was it a ref bump?
Yes, there was a
it was a ref bump and then a low blow and then the title used for the pin and so and it was around like just under 9 minutes, so it was a decent but could have been long. But then I don't know if it really needed to because like I agree with both of you. It was not anything too special and it was. Test just isn't as good as Eddie, so there's only so much he could have done, and I gave it a C.
Yeah,
not the worst, not the best. Meh.
Okie dokie. Moving on to far better things.
Yes,
Kurt
this is
Angle,
far
Chris
better.
Benoit.
Yeah, this is where the show sort of really kicks into gear.
Disclaimer, folks.
Oh, here we go.
Obviously, Mr. Benoit has been erased from history for the large part, but we can still watch these matches through the network and whatnot because they're still there, obviously, even though they never mention him, and quite rightly so for what he did. So we are in no way condoning or agreeing with or anything to do with it. It's one of the most heinous things I'd ever heard of. What happened at the end?
Yep.
So we're just going to judge it, analytically. For
him as a wrestler
for the match, we have to judge him as a wrestler. Yeah. So Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit, two of the best technical wrestlers ever. Two very, very good wrestlers in terms of selling things. Now, this is something that I will bring up a lot in these podcasts, is that they don't sell things properly anymore. All of them, Eloise is angry with me, all of them should go and watch Chris Benoit and the way that he sells things. He sells everything. Whether it's an ankle lock, a crossface, reaction to the headbutt off the turnbuckle, everything is sold to the absolute 100% maximum he can sell it. And that's why he was so good, because he was technically incredible. But the way that he sold things, I don't think there's ever been anyone who sells things in the rings, sold things in the ring as well as that man did. And then you got Kurt Angle, who's in a very similar bracket, technically incredible, sold everything all the way along. Facial expressions, absolutely perfect. It's fundamentally a lesson in ring acting that they're doing there. It's just brilliant all the way through. I absolutely loved the match, as I did every time they had a match, because they obviously had quite a few of these, didn't they, over the years. So I'm going to go straight to my score. I'm going to give it an A because I loved it. The only thing that I would say is that Chris Benoit's work with a microphone was appalling, but the stuff that he did in a ring was unbelievable storytelling every single time. And if you watch things now that Tim said that and you never noticed it, I hope you notice it, because he was the best at selling things and the best at storytelling in the ring. And it's something I've heard Bret Hart talk about a lot, that people don't sell things in the ring anymore. They'll just sort of slap each other. Like I watched Crown Jewel recently. Bobby Lashley is a good example of it. Can't sell things to save his life. One of the most experienced people in there. They don't sell anymore, and it drives me mad.
Yeah. Okay. No, I can continue.
So I've got a couple more things to add to that because that was a very good summary of basically why Tim basically fucking loved this match. First thing I've got is Angle is very good at getting heat from the local populace, where essentially at the start of the game he sort of came down and basically said, "You're all shit." Everyone went boo. He's very good at that. I figured. But Angle is just general really good on the mic. Like he was sort of on the line of the sort of the Eddie Guerrero, as basically is all round good at pretty much everything, regardless of whether he's face or heel, really. To be honest. A couple of commentary lines by Paul Heyman. I think this was just before the match started. This is as excited as a man can get with his clothes on.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Which was subject of many rude jokes by me and Eloise. Some relating to me and a certain someone. No comments there.
I wonder who that is.
I wonder who that could be. Yes, I wonder who that could be. And another one of him a bit later on, where he sort of decided to spit some bars where he said about Kurt Angle, he can wrestle, he can brawl, Kurt Angle can do it all. So essentially he became a rap god just randomly midway through the match, which is why, I mean, it's why Paul Heyman's so good. He can just sort of spit stuff like that.
He just say random crap.
Yeah, just off the match, and just off the cuff, and he makes it work, basically. Yeah. Match sort of had a bit of an interesting story where it sort of started off as like a big good grapple thing where everyone just sort of tried to get submissions on and do proper amateur wrestling stuff, and then they just became sick of it and started to exchange punches. So they sort of like trying to start off with like a nice sort of because it
was a proper grapple,
proper grapple contest, and then I think
like
it was
actual wrestling.
Yeah,
amateur.
Then I think it was Angle sort of punch Benoit, and then it all sort of descended into a big punch fest. Which sort of I've seen a few of the matches. I do like that sort of story where they sort of like try and start off with something else that is just descends into the usual punchy stuff.
And then Hill gets frustrated
because they hate it so much. Basically, they hate each other so much. There was a couple of there was one big reference in the match where they essentially straight out of the ref bunk, Benoit got Angle in the crossface and then he tapped. So there's no ref. So that's sort of continuing on the whole thing about sort of continuing the whole thing about sort of Angle denying he's tapped, which is I think continues on to the next couple of pay-per-views. Then the finish is there's a dick kick city. So just somebody just whacks each other in whacks someone in the dick. Then that was by that was I think that was by Benoit actually, who tried to pin Angle, but then Angle sort of rolled through with grabbing the tights and then getting the dirty win, as well as sort of not sort of tapping out, but the ref not being there. Boo! Angle's bad. Boo! Yeah, I've given it an A because you can't get anything else. It's fucking fantastic, basically.
Yeah. Eloise?
So there's not much more to add because you pretty much both summed up pretty well. All I'd say is I'll quote what Mal said was it was very grapply boys doing grapply things.
Yes.
Telling the story.
Yeah.
In the ring, which is
when you just grapple.
Just quickly, I'll bring you back to the point of the pay-per-view when you're going there and watching it in the audience. You don't care what the story was on Raw anymore. You care about what happens in the ring, and they told the story in the ring of what they were doing. They were trying to out-submission each other. That was the story, and it's like watching a film.
Yeah, it was there that they were out grappling each other, and then and then
I think
Benoit was getting on top, and Angle didn't like it. Angle got mad. Angle started punching and started doing his other moves.
Yeah, I think Angle again sort of did play up to the crowd well because Angle did start thinking you tapped out during the middle of the match, which again sort of like it is a bit following on from Raw, but at the same time, it is basically basically two guys trying to out grapple each other during the match.
Yeah,
and
so
the whole tap out bit, it's got a spur even further.
Yeah.
So Eloise, score.
A. I voted A.
Yeah, I think we all agree that's really good. which is good.
Good match.
Yep. Moving on to China versus Ivory.
Do we have to talk about this one?
Yeah.
Do you want to go first, Eloise?
Kind of delay this a bit so we don't have to talk about this match and talk about what happened in between the two matches. So
Oh,
we
I
got
forgot what happened.
Oh yeah.
so we had Rigo backstage with Kamala just on his
Yeah.
desk and
Oh.
wanting to, and Rigo wanted to rub the moons on his belly,
Yeah.
which is essentially a big plug for the gimmick battle royal, which is going on later on. Which is
Yeah, I mean, is Kamala sort of a bit racist, that gimmick these days? I mean, I thought I was a bit uncomfortable
probably.
watching that.
probably a bit
I'm
dodgy.
not the most comfortable seeing it either. So
I mean,
No, it
but
was a bit...
I can't say whether something is racist or not.
Yeah.
Because I personally cannot say, but
Yeah.
it made me uncomfortable.
It made me uncomfortable.
It does sort of lean into the whole African sort of barbarian stereotype thing, and
I didn't like that.
to be fair, they have history of doing that. You know, Akeem the African Dream.
Oh,
Yeah.
see him later, but
We'll see him later. Actually, it's one of the gimmicks. Then they do the Ability Army segment, which they do pretty much every single WrestleMania, where they sort of bring out, the army, we were there. Pretty much everyone's been a face apart from Kurt Angle, which is great.
Kurt Angle's being the heel, of course. Wanted a medal.
Yeah. And there was an interview with Angle as well, where he was basically incredulous being asked to respect Benoit because he hates him so much for obvious reasons. And then Benoit basically does sort of like a tap from behind Ellsbury's head, and then makes him tap out again. So obviously, continuing on that, there's going to be more matches coming, which obviously we're all going to look forward to. But now we have to deal with this horrendous match. Eloise.
So
you go first.
I've not got. I rate pretty much three sentences about this. Like, it was pointless. I suppose you had to have a women's match on there this kind of match kind of reminds me and kind of realizes how sport we are with women's wrestling now and how bad it was back then, and how little they cared about it. And because because all they cared about women's match was a short 3-minute squash, because that's what it was. It was China squashing Ivory, and and that's literally what I wrote. Shit match, squash, women's wrestling's better now, and shit. Not much to say, really.
Yeah. I mean, basically, my summary is that, but a bit more words. Essentially, the angle behind this match is China breaking her neck after possibly the worst handspring back elbow I've ever seen in that segment, where essentially she just stops does the back elbow, that sort of reverts back into Ivory, and then is just she breaks her neck. And basically during this match, Ivory attacks her neck for a bit, then China decides to just do all the big power move and then win. I think they're trying to give China something because she's not allowed in the men's division anymore. But she doesn't really fit in the women's division at this point.
No,
because she's just like what can you do with her after this, really, outside of like bringing in another like big monster woman.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't think she stays too long after this either, so it's a bit of it's a throwaway match, and
she has like
a bit of throwaway.
1 or 2 matches, and then that's it.
And then
like a couple months after that, she's gone.
Yeah.
So score, Mal?
I've given it an E. It's probably a bit generous, because
generous, very generous.
Nothing went badly wrong, basically.
Yeah, I'm going to give it an F. Back in this period, you don't find many women's matches that are any good, because obviously they were there to sell boobs for most of the time, puppies and boobs and stuff. So you can't really judge the women's matches by the same standard, but it's an F. The only thing I would say is it's clear what they were doing. They were building China up as the Ultimate Warrior in the women's division, because she literally dressed as the female version of the Ultimate Warrior, and even used his finisher, I believe.
The whole press thing. Because
that's all the Ultimate Warrior could do.
Yeah.
But China was a very basic wrestler anyway, as anyone who's worked with her says afterwards. So she didn't really have that much of a moveset. But we're going to call that an F, and we'll move on.
Just before we move on, there's a commentary line by Paul Heyman. I'm going to go bring these up a couple of times, but said after the match, there's nothing wrong with dominant female, which is certainly something. I didn't realize Paul Heyman was a sub.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah.
I've now got images in my head.
That's all have I.
Sorry for bringing that up. Maybe. Yes.
No, you're not.
Let's move on to an equally fun match. Well, let's say no,
Well,
a much
much
more
more
fun
fun.
match. Yeah.
Shane versus Mr. McMahon.
Yes.
Father against son. Okay, so the whole Linda being in a wheelchair thing was daft.
Yes.
Really
and
insulting.
it hasn't
Really
aged
insulting.
well. It hasn't
No.
aged well either, is it?
It's awful.
Did
Awful
it-
to say with people.
Was it really that? Did it really age well at the time? Like it seemed like it would be insensitive regardless of the era because
Yeah,
it's just
I think
drugging
that
up
was
a
on
woman.
purpose.
Yeah,
It's
on purpose. Yes, to get some
literally drugging
heat
her.
on the. Get heat
it's
on
just
Vince,
silliness.
Yeah.
It's just wrestling silliness from back in the day. It's obviously fake and whatnot. The having Trish push around in the wheelchair was so Trish had something to do by the looks of it.
Yeah.
And boobs.
Yes, boobs.
That's what they wanted.
Yeah, and Vince snogging Trish which is probably what
I hated that too.
Probably the entire point of the angle is that Vince wanted to snog Trish.
Yeah, Vince wanted to be with
Yeah.
Trish in the storyline.
Yeah.
Which is
So-
sick, really.
Yeah.
So forgetting the ridiculous story, it was all designed to get to that nut shot at the end where Linda kicks him in the nuts, which got
Brilliant.
a massive
I mean,
pop.
it's a
best
fantastic
moment in the
pop.
match.
It's probably the best thing Linda McMahon has ever done in her
Yeah.
entire, I don't say wrestling career, entire life probably. Just kick someone in the nuts.
Yeah, it all seemed a bit of a massive ordeal to go through though. The whole vegetative state thing for weeks, and then
then just
just for a kick in the nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They could have just done
I
a
just
kick in
feel
the
bad
nuts.
for her. I just feel bad for her watching.
Yeah,
her. Like
well,
just
Yeah.
because she's watching her husband at the time, like dance around with this younger pretty girl, and then like it's obviously not real, but it's just still a little bit,
It's
and then
still creepy, isn't it? Basically.
very creepy.
Yes.
And I'm glad we don't have that stuff anymore. But
Yeah.
I don't. It's a shame that happened in the first place.
So it's basically a brawl, the match between two people who aren't wrestlers. They sell it as well as they can.
Yeah.
Shane throws himself about, and the
Yeah.
finish was decent, where he goes from turnbuckle to turnbuckle.
Yeah, the coast to coast is good. The coast to coast is a great move. And
Oh,
it's something that Shane has basically done every single time he's done a match.
Yeah,
It still looks impressive though. To be fair, like
Shane-
someone like Shane just launching himself
yeah. Shane's very good at launching himself.
off of things.
Especially, off of things into things. You know, that drop kick into the bin was fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically a father and son beating the snot out of each other, which is kind of entertaining, I suppose.
Two non-wrestlers, kind of. You could tell they were both a little bit green.
Yeah, I think it was the first time we saw Shane do his weird little rabbit punchy things. Where
Yes, I was about to say I got very excited because I saw the genesis of the with the weird dancey punches, and then in my notes I put float like a butterfly, sting like a bee because he's trying to be Muhammad Ali. He obviously does it better.
Obviously, yes. Yeah, great.
I'm gonna
10 out of 10.
I'm gonna give it a C+.
Yeah, I've given it a C minus. It's saved it from B to I'll give it a C actually. And the entire thing of why I raised it is because of the nut shot basically.
Yeah,
because
so
it was a great moment. And the coast.
I want one more note before because I think I don't think I've got anything else to say. So apart from, it's also you could tell it was they still didn't really know what to do with Shane because he didn't have his own music.
Yeah.
They just used the Vince music.
Yeah, which was very confusing.
Shane came out to Vince music, and then they got Mick Foley to come out, and then they did
Vince
the same
came out to the
music
same
again
music.
for.
Yeah.
But
it was really weird to see no chance. That's just what you got, and then Shane McMahon just walking out, not doing his
Yeah,
dance.
for sure. But a couple months after that, was the birth of "Here Comes the Money."
Here we go,
Here comes
money
the
talks.
money.
Money, money, money,
Money,
money,
money,
money, money,
money,
money, money, money, money, money.
Ka-ching, ka-ching.
Dollar.
But yeah, my ranking for that is D. It would have been lower if Linda McMahon didn't kick Vince in the balls. Like that match was kind of like trailed off to me, and I thought it was a bit crap, and I didn't like some of the shenanigans, and it just made me uncomfortable, very uncomfortable. And then we suddenly got the part where she was sat in the ring, and then she gets up and just gigs. It's amazing.
And to be
I
fair,
think that's all like what we all wanted to do at that point, you know. Yeah. So it was perfect.
The crowd were into it. To be fair, just
the
crowd were
really good heat.
Yeah.
Well, Vince was hot all the time. You gotta remember how hot that guy was. Like with all the stuff he did with Stone Cold. Not in that way.
Didn't realize you were into 50-year-old men who do bodybuilding.
Silver foxes. Tim likes silver foxes.
Him and Stone Cold. That made them both legends, didn't it? That whole storyline. So anything he did was going to get big reactions from people. Very hot. Right. So moving on to one of the best matches of the night, without a doubt, the Edge and Christian Dudley Boys and Hardy Boys match with the little interventions from I've lost his name. Rhino and Lita was in there, and Spike was in there.
Yep. Sort of the third men of the group.
The third of each.
Well, third people, I guess.
Yeah.
So obviously it is what it was. There's no need to go into it massively. It was spot after spot after spot.
Fantastic spots.
Of the three best tag teams has ever been, by hands down, no arguments. Beating the piss out of each other, jumping off massive ladders through tables. And so it was pretty good. Yeah. And when they're all in their prime as well, let's not forget, because obviously as the years have gone on, they've got old and they've got damaged. And it's no great surprise, seeing as Jeff Hardy's jumped off everything on earth at this stage, from massive heights and whatnot. The damage those guys must have experienced over the years is ridiculous. I'm not going to go into any specific spots. The spear off the top of the ladder is legendary, of course. There is a failed spot in there, isn't there, where Jeff Hardy's running along the ladders and has to go back and repeat it because he falls off. Yeah. Which is unfortunate. But I mean, it's such a technically difficult thing to do. Yeah. In the moment to get that right and whatnot. Yeah. But it's an A+ match. It's incredible. Yeah. So I'm just gonna leave it there. That one's fantastic.
Yeah. Can't really say much else other than that because there's too many spots to go into. Basically, lots of shit happened. The one thing I will say, there was a commentary line by JR, jerking Edge off.
Damn, I wanted to say that.
The ladder.
Jerking Edge off.
Other than that, yes, fantastic match. A+.
Yeah. So I love the match. The match was great. Anytime the Dudley Boys are there with tables, amazing. Nothing. Yeah. Hardy Boys amazing with ladders. Edge and Christian, not much to say about them. They're amazing. I did notice a lot of spots where they took the ladder away and people were still holding on to the belt and to the thing on top. So lots of dangly spots, which I thought was quite interesting. You don't see them as much anymore.
But imagination, Eloise. It was imagination. They come up with it all in advance, and it was what will entertain the crowd.
But
goes into
they don't do it because it was probably overdone. So they don't do as many of those spots. But
they probably did do too many of those. I mean, great at the time, but they probably just used them all up.
Something good's found, and then they milk the shit out of it, and then it stops being impressive.
Well,
it's like, oh look,
this.
So that's probably why. Like the best spot in my opinion was where Edge speared Jeff Hardy when Jeff Hardy was dangling from the dangling from the top.
The big ladder, that's great. It's a great spot. Yeah.
And then Matt Hardy and Bubba Ray into the 4 tables that were stacked up. That was amazing too. But Spot Fest, but nothing wrong with that. Spot Fest when they're done right can be fantastic.
Probably the best Spot Fest ever. Basically, because
was this better than the original? Because it was TLC 2.
Ooh, yeah.
I put them both on the
same winner. Same winner because the same teams, same winner. But which was Edge and Christian. We didn't mention that. Edge and Christian won.
Edge and Christian won because of Rhino lifted them all up to get the titles, basically.
Yes, it was a bit dodgy at the end, but Christian kind of stole them. Yeah. But
it makes sense for them because they're again big heaty guys.
Oh yeah,
they get their big mate in to to come in and just
Oh, and
help them.
I will also mention how amazing Rhino looks.
Yes.
Like, I'm more used to him looking bigger in his later years, but him then, he just looked just an absolute beast. So it's a shame we didn't see as much from Rhino, but amazing.
And I will say it's
Amazing
also nice
match. A.
Yeah, it's also nice to see Lita, a woman coming in and actually doing something good during the
Shame.
I did write down though. She takes her shirt off, doesn't she?
I was about to say, shame they had to do that.
Yeah.
But...
This is the thing, isn't it? But it literally all for the divas, as they were called at the time. It went down to
that term was used.
How they looked and selling sex basically to people. But that's what people bought pay-per-views for.
Yep.
So that was just the era. Right, let's get it out of the way. Gimmick Battle Royal.
I've got
match of the night. Match of the night.
Just before we get to the greatest match of all time, I've got one sort of thing about the little segment in between. There's a weird There's cut to a weird sort of pre-tape thing for like one of the weird pre-pay-per-view parties they have. Basically, they interview a lot of people. Kane was there talking in a very non-Kane-like way, which was weird to have in a pay-per-view. And there's Steve Blackman, which is very poggers. And everyone's being a face apart from Angle, again. Angle very much uses that heel gimmick. And there's also some Scousers.
Yes, there were. There was two Scousers.
There were two Scousers in probably speaking the broadest Liverpool accents there could be.
Yeah, and I just kind of started laughing because I did not expect to hear Scousers.
But let's go on with the greatest match of all time. The greatest
match of all time.
Yeah.
You know, absolutely gassed. Yeah. In my notes, I got it in all caps because so exciting. Yeah. Some great names. I won't go through all the names.
Do you want to go through all the names? Okay. I've got a list of them.
I got a list of them too.
Okay. So let's go through who's in this because there's a lot of names.
All right.
And they're
big names.
They're in some interesting ones. We've got the Bushwhackers coming out first.
Yeah.
We've got Duke the Dumpster Josie from the mid-90s. The Iron Sheik, who is great on Twitter, and at this point had absolutely no knees. I wonder who's going to win this match.
Oh,
yeah,
his hips and knees.
His knees kind of just went like that. It did the his legs were in the Kali phase, which great Kali.
Yeah. We've also got Earthquake, who sort of wanders down and overtakes the Iron Sheik whilst the Iron Sheik is walking down, which is quite funny. The Goon, which is also another mid-90s classic. Doink.
That was the hockey one, wasn't it?
That was the hockey one, yeah. The Goon's the hockey one.
Doink!
The not the good dog, apparently, because it's the good dog was when he was
it was
another one. Kamala, who came out with Kimchi and Harvey Whipple, which was nice to see. Repo Man, Jim Cornette, with his tennis racket, which was before he started shouting at clouds on his podcast, doing a Tim, but more harsh, basically. Nikolai Volkov, who probably also has no hips.
Very old.
Michael Hayes, who seems a bit out of place there, seeing as Michael Hayes was actually like a proper, sort of more of a serious wrestler, but he's included. One Man Gang, not Akeem, sadly.
I'm glad. No, not sadly. I'm glad he was One Man Gang. I don't want to see Akeem the African King ever. No.
Tugboat and they mentioned Natural Disasters tag team between him and Earthquake. Hillbilly Jim, Brother Love, I love you. I'm so surprised he's just getting it thrown out first because that seems to always happen to him whenever he enters these sorts of gimmick sort of things. And then we've got Sergeant Slaughter who gets like one big lore package saying he's basically now he's a good guy.
Now he's
American, not Iraqi like he was back in the 90s. And of course, we're missing the greatest one of all time.
Gobbledygooker.
I was like, you're missing out. You're missing out the one I wanted to win. What? My favorite. Up the Gobbledygooker.
Let's end this misery. Scores.
I was so in my notes I was very distraught when Gobbledygooker was knocked out.
We all were.
Then they also did the spot where Tugboat, who used to be Typhoon.
Typhoon, yeah, in Natural Disasters.
Was betrayed by Earthquake, who also was Shark in the future.
Yes.
At this point.
And then
Cornette, and then Doink. Yeah, and then I got upset because Doink was then my favorite. I did a Jerry Lawler, and then Doink was eliminated, and then and so in all caps I got all this in all caps, and I wrote really shit wrestling. Just
I mean,
small letters.
Nothing really happened apart from people just sort of trying to punch
Yeah,
each other as
so-
best they can when they're about 50 or older.
The end was like Hillbilly Jim eliminates someone.
Yeah.
And it looked like he'd won it all, and then Iron Sheik just appeared from nowhere
And then he
and
just-
won it all.
yeah. And of course, because America, Sergeant Slaughter comes back into the ring and puts on the Cobra Clutch. Because
Yeah, so-
America, fuck yeah.
Iron Sheik wins it, but obviously Sergeant Slaughter needs to do the patriotic.
Yes.
Yeah. The only thing I wrote was Sheik's hips and Sergeant Slaughter has a great stash. That's
He
it.
does to be fair, yeah.
Yeah, I wrote Slaughter wins America.
Yes,
America.
Yes, America.
Yeah.
So what we
So-
rated it?
F.
I'm going to be controversial. I'm not giving this a rating because it's not really a match. It's just essentially just parade all these wrestlers
All
out,
right.
make them do
Yeah.
something.
So I rated it an S, like above A S. But
The greatest match of all
more
time.
seriously, because in my end rankings I put S in brackets because like I want to say that, but no. In all seriousness, it's an E. Shit wrestling, but
Right.
it's the sort of thing where the intros were more interesting than the actual wrestling.
Right.
Okay, so we're going to move on now
Yes.
to the live section
Yes.
of
Live,
this.
the live section. Ooh.
So,
So, for people
are
watching
we
at
all
home,
ready?
we are at 2 hours, 31 minutes, 46 seconds. Basically where the Undertaker Triple H match graphic is on the screen.
We're being stared at.
Yeah, we are being stared at by Triple H and Stephanie McMahon very, very menacingly. Right. Okay, we all ready to get going?
So, if you want to watch along, folks, click play from 2 hours, 31 minutes, and 47 seconds, or 46 seconds, as Mal said. If you want to be really accurate, go to 46. But 3, 2, 1, play. Can I just
Alright.
say something about the music in this period as well? How hot Limp Bizkit were.
Yes.
They were incredibly
Yeah,
hot.
they were everywhere, weren't they, basically?
So yeah, and then of course in this match you've got Motorhead doing the intro
Which
to
we'll
it
talk about
live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if there's much to talk about after a while. It drags on a bit.
But I mean, the Undertaker's image in this period. I mean, the Biker Taker isn't looked back on incredibly fondly. I don't think by people. these
I don't
days.
like
I
it
think-
so much.
No, it hasn't aged very well. But at the time, it was incredibly hot. It got lots and lots of heat. And Undertaker, through that period, had various stages of being in shape and not in shape, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Sometimes he looks fabulous, and sometimes he looks terrible.
Definitely.
I think here, look, if you look, he's wearing baggy shirts because he's a bit out of shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was
Especially, I think when he first came back, he was very overweight. Presumably, it took a while for him to get back into training and fitness, like any athlete would go through.
Oh, of course.
Um,
Yeah.
Yeah. So this.
But lots of his clothes in these VTs they're very baggy, or he's wearing long coats or
Yeah.
whatever.
I mean,
I suppose
that
it sort of fits with
that
the
was
gimmick, I
style as
guess.
well, though,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Sort of fits with the gimmick of being the biker guy,
Oh yeah.
and they did wearing the big long clothes. But yeah, it does sort of hide his thing. Also, Kane being involved in this is a bit weird. Whereas Kane essentially sort of
Kane.
does Undertaker's bidding.
Yeah.
And then Kane just sort of threatens to murder Stephanie in cold blood by chucking it off a big balcony.
Yes, wrestling.
yes,
Well, we're seeing
wrestling.
literal crimes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because surely Undertaker's breaking the restraint order there, but
Yeah. And then of course we got to make the match because Stephanie's gonna die otherwise, basically. And it's all this hype package. They've actually got quite far back because they did notice any Your House logo there, which was like the mid-90s. So they've got it was quite a story history, to be fair. I think they did wrestle up in
And then-
mid-90s, weren't they? and then of course
Breaking the bike.
smashing the bike. In
Yeah, these things on SmackDown. This is the thing I'm saying. Where they're building up to trying to get ratings for the SmackDown shows in the week, right? They don't do this anymore. They don't do things like run cars over with monster trucks and crazy things like that.
That like I said, since I've watched wrestling, they tried to add more interesting stuff, but they definitely focused with Triple H. Triple H running the show, he's definitely focused more on stuff like that. But
Here we go.
I do see what you
time
mean.
for Motorhead.
I love Motorhead, but they are clearly off their tits here.
Yes, they are.
Yeah,
and Lemmy
it's a little
can't
bit.
remember the words. He sort of stumbles through it quite a few times, but it is Motorhead. So I think if they tested Lemmy's blood here, it would have.
It probably would have gone off the scale on the amount of
yeah,
whatever.
it probably would have
whatever he was on.
fizzed.
Yeah.
It would have fizzed.
All about the game if you can play, and it just sort of goes into slurring basically.
Isn't that what the song is anyway, though?
It's sort of a bit more clear on the actual version, which is on WWF The Music version 5, which I have.
Yes.
Which contains which contains "Pie" by The Rock, one of the
Yes.
best, obviously. Talking about pie, nothing else. Yeah, all about that. There we go. There we go.
Still really cool to see Motorhead live.
Yeah. Yeah, they've sort of
Still not out.
Yeah, they still have a It does take a while, but they do sort of get down there. Is they have sort of cut down the live performances, haven't they? Like they still do them, of course, but
yeah, because there's a stat where it's almost everyone who comes out to a live band. Everyone who comes out to a live band always loses their match. I think it was broken by Rhea Ripley recently, like a couple of WrestleManias ago. Yeah. But apart from that, it was a massive streak where almost everyone who performed to a live band
came out
loses.
Yeah.
Also, I'll note that he got very, very angry.
He's very annoyed.
His entrances were always kind of boring because he's just walking and spitting and walking and spitting and staring and spitting.
They were great.
They were great, but they took so long. You did it's kind of like Roman Reigns now. It just takes a while.
Yeah. It's also not.
I like it, but it takes a while.
Yeah. It's
not hygienic at all.
The acting. Look at the acting. They don't do this anymore. I mean, the physique. You can't get a physique like that anymore for obvious reasons. Because there's
allegedly.
Steroids involved, allegedly.
But there are people who have physiques as good as that who actually got it naturally.
I don't think there's ever been a physique.
Probably testosterone. Probably testosterone injections instead now.
Allegedly.
Yes, allegedly. Yes.
But I mean, that physique is just ridiculous that Triple H had in this period.
Oh, of course. He eventually loses it, but yeah, because of injuries.
Obviously, enhanced allegedly, but
there we go, big spit.
Yeah.
Big water,
Looks
and
good,
then
though.
Yeah, he also doesn't. He is not a happy buddy at all.
No.
Although he never was really, was he?
No. Do you think it's time to play the game? I think it's time to play the game.
Time to play the game. Yes.
Lemmy must be sick of singing that by now.
I don't think he's in the right conscience to care.
I don't think he cares. I think he's just sort of off his head too much.
He got paid.
Yeah.
So
he got paid, and he's probably. He probably didn't even know where he is. He's probably just singing this off by memory.
Yeah. Murder 1 on the amp.
Yeah, I just noticed that.
Yeah, there you go. Triple H pointing at Motorhead because they're the big guys.
They were famously really good friends, the Triple H and Lemmy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Famous.
Makes sense why he
yeah.
did the song.
Yeah, and my Motorhead was used for his other things, wasn't it? The King of Kings.
And here we go.
Yeah.
You had to be there to know how big this song was back in the day. It was on every music channel in the world.
I love this song though.
Over and over again. That video.
Rolling.
Keep rolling.
Put my hands down, back up, back. Tell me what you're gonna do now.
Absolute cow jump.
Hands up, hands down. Tell me what
Ah,
you think.
yeah. The take a race down to the ring at probably like 10 miles an hour, but makes it look speedy.
Yeah,
on the camera.
Yeah, like I said, this walked so Brock Lesnar on a giant tractor could run.
Yes.
That was a great spot.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it kind of reminded me of that because I think this was kind of one of the first like vehicle entrances, and then Eddie Guerrero used to do it as well
In his low rider.
with the low rider,
Yeah.
and then obviously the famous 2006 Royal Rumble where Ray came out. Because 2005 Eddie came out with the low rider. 2006 Ray did it first.
Yeah.
So because that was the one where Eddie had just passed away.
Yeah. So yeah.
Rey Mysterio went in at number 1 and won it.
No, they're already starting off with the.
They're already
big
broad.
boys.
Broad while I was talking.
They're not even in the ring. They're just already starting to.
The match not started yet. Oh, here we go. The Spanish announce table, which we haven't mentioned.
The Spanish announce table is always
There we
getting
go.
some love. And
It always gets bullied. Poor Spanish announce table.
Oh,
You will
Worst
never be
announce
forgotten.
table ever.
Oh yeah, it already got destroyed
Yeah,
because it was destroyed earlier. I forgot what match.
yeah. I think it was sort of set up again, but it just destroyed it again, basically.
What match was it?
Good question. So would it have been the probably would have been the TLC match, right? Maybe. No, would have been the Shane and Vince match.
Yes.
Because they destroyed the stable a couple of times in there.
Oh yeah. Shane did the big fly elbow.
The big flying elbow off the top of the
Yes.
rope, didn't it? Yeah. Punchy. There we go. Big Irish whip.
Whoa,
Mr. Clothesline. Big knee.
I mean, this isn't Undertaker in shape either. You can see
Beat
he's
the game's
pushing
ass.
pretty hard, but he's still an incredible athlete. He's very, very fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Still, he still knows what he's still knows what he's doing. Oh, the
How
ref,
big?
the ref is scared to take it there.
6'8" is he, Undertaker? 6'9".
He's a big boy, a very big boy, regardless.
6'10".
6'10".
Okay.
It's quite remarkable.
He was billed when he first came in at 7 foot, I think.
Yeah, they
Obviously,
did that with everyone, don't
WWE stuff. Yeah. They always round up a bit. But I noticed that he stopped like dyeing his hair at this point. So we're back to the ginger.
Going back to the ginger. Booger Red, as he was known later on, I think.
I mean,
And
we've of course in this period as well got the one of the greatest finishes ever in the last ride, which he of course stopped using.
big elbow. Ooh, that was it.
Knees.
I assume it's
why?
his back. I know he suffered from terrible back problems.
It'd probably be both, but yeah, back makes sense too. It probably has a huge impact on both those knees and back.
Yeah, I mean it must have been one hell of a finish to take. The
That was
last ride,
outstanding,
because
by the way.
that is a long way down to be slammed into the mat on your back. A long way.
Yeah, that where he just ran and then did like a massive flip. Amazing for a big guy.
Yeah. Just,
So agile.
Yeah, the clothesline at Taker's just dramatic away, sort of basically very nearly misses
Now
Triple
he's-
H entirely. And goes into the
Now he's slowing it down.
He's a master of pacing a match, The Undertaker. He
Yeah, he's
knows
got to
when
calm down
move it
now.
on. He knows when to sell things.
Appealing to the crowd.
And of course, we go for old school, which was his thing.
Which, if you're talking about kayfabe, this makes no sense in realistic terms.
But neither does the people's elbow, as we'll see later on.
I mean, yeah, but like, I think complaining about moves like that is like nowadays you'd complain, but
yeah.
so
this is what I
they
mean.
did that kind of match back then. So
We've lost the glorious silliness somewhere along the way.
I mean, we do still do a lot of silliness, and it gets complained for not being realistic. So can never win.
Kayfabe's impossible in the era of social media. That's the problem.
I mean, even that's not kayfabe. But yeah, I know what you mean.
if you want to be silly and secretive, like the Undertaker kept up kayfabe until he retired, famously.
I do like wrestlers who use social media to prove that they're a massive dick. There are many that do that.
Yeah.
and they use it to kind of help with their personas, you know. So
The thing is, social media is advertising though for everybody now, so they have to use it. So if they're not posting pictures on Instagram constantly all the time, they're probably in trouble because it builds. You know,
I mean, they don't have
as
to,
you gain
but-
followers, more people watch it.
it helps, but they don't have to. Like there's some people that just aren't on Twitter, but some people use it to help their character work, and like Twitter, and that works.
You know, they have to remember this is the era before everyone checked their phone constantly all the time.
1, 2, no.
You are really sounding like an old man, aren't you?
1, 2, no.
Well, back in these days, like mobile phones were just little things with tiny screens.
The ref shoved Triple H back then, just to get back to the match. The ref shoved Triple H
Yeah.
back. That's the ref is really just asserting his authority for now. He's just he was the ref this match. Is this Mike Yoda? I'm trying to
I'm not sure who he is.
I sort of recognise his face. Don't know who it is. The only one I really recognise and know the name of is like the Ric Flair looking one, Lil Nate.
Tim White as well, wasn't there? I think, did he die recently? I think Tim White in the last year. It was Tim White, and there was Earl Hebner.
It's Mike Yoda. Okay. Yeah, Mike Yoda's being authoritative, which is. I think remember him being always one of the ones that was more like in your face about things. Oh, the timekeeper's just fucking destroyed. Poor
And the
bloke.
customary Triple H pulling the sledgehammer out, folks.
Rubber hammer.
Yeah, rubber hammer.
Have you noticed every time you clock someone with it, he's always got his hand over the edge of the sledgehammer? I
Yeah,
love
because
that.
he had to start doing that because he used to do it without the hand, but the head broke off and it really hurt someone.
All right, didn't know that.
With the wood. So he had to then change the way. He couldn't do any over the head. He couldn't do any of the overhead shots anymore. So he had to push it in someone.
I think Mako's being kicked out again, just stealing the
Kick a Chad.
stealing the sledgehammer. Oh,
Was this step just no DQ?
Uh,
Because they spend so long out of the ring, there's no count out. So
It wasn't no DQ, but there's a big part of the match that is because there's no ref.
Yeah.
Ref bump.
Yes.
a
This ref
very
bump.
choreographed ref bump.
Yep.
Oh, of course. They all are.
Massive
Big
choke
choke slam.
slam.
Wee. That's a great.
Should be
choke slam.
2 count.
1, 2, slow.
He did touch the mat.
He did touch a map, but it was probably one of the things like 2.99.
And then boom.
Yeah, just kick in the back anyway, and then just
So-
elbow drop for no reason.
Mike
ref.
Yoda is completely dead almost the whole match now.
Poor ref.
Yeah.
And
Can I point out the selling that goes on in these matches, guys, compared to the modern product?
What?
They sell everything.
What Mike Yoda?
Yeah,
They
'cause,
sell
um,
everything.
the modern product's quicker. It's more quicker, high paced than this. This is more slow.
The emotion
It's
in
just
it.
different styles. It's just different styles.
Yeah.
Like this changed from like 20 years before this, and then 20 years past, the wrestling styles changed. It's just slightly more high paced, and the wrestlers work differently.
Big
It's
fuck
far
into
more
the,
theatrical.
Big fuck into the steps. Is he gonna bleed?
But less technically
Nope.
impressive. at
And now
points.
it's time to go into the crowd.
Is it blading time yet?
I think it's not blading time yet. I think it's crowd brawling
Wait,
time though.
did someone blade in this? I'm trying to remember.
Probably did, to be honest.
Oh yeah,
but,
this is the direction.
Yeah, this is
He directs them.
this is the walkie brawly bit where they just walk through the crowd and take occasionally punch Triple H. We do
Triple
love
H and Shawn Michaels were the ones where they bladed. They like had a competition about who could blade first.
Mm.
So like about 3 minutes into the match, they're both absolutely covered in blood.
Yeah.
oh,
We won't get into the blading argument today,
Yeah.
but we can definitely get into the blading argument in the future.
They're on the production sets.
I don't think.
just
More punches.
Yeah,
good.
just briefly though, I don't think blading can even be done legally anymore because
I mean, no.
you wouldn't get
Like,
insurance.
it can because AEW do it, but
Oh yeah, true.
AEW chuck up blood all the time. It is their sponsors somehow. I think they don't have as many sponsors, but
Sponsored
Yeah,
by
they get away
Canvas.
with it.
Yeah. Yep. Time to climb to the second tier. Those CLT
Yeah, some
monitors look
sponsors are kind of
ancient.
interested in more adult products, so
For those old school computers,
Yeah,
folks.
them absolutely
yeah, the
humongous
monitors are great.
Yeah, proper CLC stuff. Yeah, and big punch time. And
Like getting hit by one of those would hurt.
it
How
would.
hot the crowd is.
Yeah, they're all. Yeah, I mean, they're all turned towards this little area. Like,
Yeah,
considering people
Yeah.
at the back can probably barely see this.
This
I bet you.
spot now, where he
Yeah.
gets, is it chokeslammed off
We
the
will,
off
we,
this
we
little
will
scaffold?
see. I can't remember, but
Uh,
take us having a
yeah.
mess at the moment.
The
And,
camera
I think
angle's
they
and Triple-
messed
outstanding.
the camera, yeah.
and
I think they messed
grab the
where
chair.
I think they
Yeah,
messed where
yeah.
it's looking at. If I
Really?
remember
I
right.
thought the camera angle's really good for.
He
Nope.
disappears
strokes
off the
down.
edge,
Nope. First
and then you
chair
don't
Yeah, it
see
makes
where
it-
he lands.
Yeah, it makes it look like he's taken a huge drop. It makes it look like he's fell so far because
Yeah,
you can't see, so he's just
Nope.
fell into the
Chair
abyss.
shots on head.
maybe.
That's my taking, and I think Mao agreed that it looked
Yeah.
like he fell into the abyss.
Yeah.
This is good.
4,
Just
5,
slapping his
6,
ass with the chair.
7,
I mean,
Oh,
these
no, he's-
types of chair shots,
9.
nothing wrong with those because he's doing it on a big surface area on his legs or his
Yeah.
arms or whatever. Things they don't do anymore.
They do, but
Yeah.
they don't do it all the time. They do it in big matches and rivalries. They do them.
The
This
chair
is-
shots to the head, to be fair.
They didn't do
that's
it to the head, but that's good.
Yes. Yeah. They don't do that, please.
No,
No.
bad.
There was a chair shot that had in there, by the way. I think Taker just managed to get his
Yeah,
hands
there
out of the
was.
way, but it does still look a bit dodgy. They're gonna, and I think this is chair shot number 10.
Oh, nope.
Oh, nope,
Yeah.
denied.
Right, here we go.
It's time for
You can,
Yeah, it
you can
does
see
look
what we're
good,
talking
actually.
about.
time for
It looks
Yeah, look,
neat.
it looks like so
Yep.
he's and then it will switch, and it looks like he's gone, he's disappeared.
Yeah.
Where's he gone?
Hey.
You know,
Yeah.
I liked that
Yeah.
because he just disappeared. He's disappeared into the abyss, and
Yeah.
then the next camera angle kind of ruins it.
Then they immediately
And then they show
remix,
us, it's not much.
when they're gonna cut away. Taker's just knackered now.
It's like,
now because they show it's about that much basically.
yeah, it's like, it's not as big a drop as you think, but you think,
Still-
oh crap.
yeah, I mean, still bloody hurts though. I imagine because he's still falling an extra 6 foot
Yeah.
or whatever. Because Taker's lifting you up like that high, as well as falling the off that.
Well, it's going to be a cushion landing.
Oh
isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah.
Crash
It's got to be
mat.
good. It's got to be. A
Oh,
big,
yes,
yeah, we've
There you
seen
go,
this
crash
replay.
mat.
There's a big crash mountain.
It's what I'd call a stunt bump rather than a proper bump.
Yeah.
It's something that's been prepared like a stunt, really.
Yeah. The EMTs are here
So they
now.
prepared it, they cushioned it, they've.
Yeah,
and then here we go.
And
Elbow.
There's Taker. Elbowing onto Triple H while the
I'm slightly ahead, I think.
while the hospital people are
Yeah,
trying to help him.
EMTs.
yep, the EMTs. Triple H is just dead.
Because I think Triple H gets up soon. Sorry, not Undertaker. I mean,
Taker seems to be at least awake. Triple H is just lying on the floor.
there we go. He attacks the EMTs.
Yeah. the EMTs are just flying everywhere now, right into cameraman as well.
Yep.
I kind
There's
of
bleeding going on. This is where it's going to be.
yeah.
I don't think he does, if I remember rightly.
Maybe confusing this with another match where lots of bleeding happens.
Yeah, I don't know which one we were thinking of. They're going to slowly get back to the ring now.
Yeah, walkie brawly time. I'm gonna assume Mike Yoda is still dead at this point.
Yes, he's completely dead.
Yeah, just completely on the floor.
We will get to that in a minute because
Hmm.
he is still
There he
going to
goes.
be dead.
There's lots of people trying
Oh
to
my god!
harass
Yeah,
them.
they hadn't made a path out yet, so
Yeah, they're sort of trying to scramble them through. You know.
yeah, this looks stupid.
I mean, it's not a bad visual because you got all the fans just sort of just rushing towards them.
Yeah, it's just like, oh look, we're just gonna escort you through the crowd.
Yeah. What is that? Somebody is gay.
There we go.
sign.
Boop.
Hey.
Yeah.
and-
You see a lot of those.
Yeah, see a lot of those, don't you?
Haha,
And,
gay. Also, I just spotted 2 people with identical disposable cameras.
Yeah. And that kid is still dead. How long was that? That was about
Yeah,
that was about 5
there he
minutes or
is.
so. Yeah,
Yep.
but he's still motionless on the floor. He's definitely
That
dead.
sells Undertaker, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it sells on both.
I mean, there are these being a time capsule as well. It is nice to see that we've moved on a long way from some of the things that
Yeah.
used to
Definitely.
just be like,
He's just
Nope.
so he's literally just clocked.
No.
Oh, that's what he clocked.
Yes. Nope. Not the ref. The big sledgehammer. Where he's gonna just.
Yeah, he didn't. He's just not looking at the ref.
He's having a look, thinking, oh, he's gonna flock him.
And
That
I
was
called
yay,
exactly what was
fucking-
going to happen here.
building it up,
Yeah, it's a lot of build up for.
building the crowd, getting the
Yeah,
crowd
it's
going.
obvious what's going to happen here.
Triple H begging.
Like, please, no, please, no.
No, please.
Boom.
Oh, and the low
Big
blow.
kick. Yay!
That was just coming, you could tell.
To the selling.
Yeah.
The selling
Referee's
of the
still
low
dead.
blow.
Yeah, ref's still dead. Taker's balls really hurt now.
I mean, I don't think low blows are as debilitating as they're made out
Big
to be.
I mean, they hurt.
I
but,
don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, they do hurt.
They hurt, but they're not going to completely freeze you.
No, it's all over exaggerated, which is the way it
It
should
is,
be.
but it's just a little bit, yeah, over the over like. I get other things, but just low blows are a little bit over the top in my opinion. But yeah,
That ref is genuinely dead.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he has not moved at all.
and
He's doing
there's a weird spot in a minute.
they're doing their big tide punches now,
Yes.
and they're all falling down, which is getting it's a good selling, to be fair. They probably are knackered after being thrown off a big production thingy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's what you call an old-fashioned slug out. Thanks, Paulie.
A lot of filler in here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and
Yeah.
he's going for the
Oh,
he's going for the tombstone.
Tombstone time. Taker.
Counter,
Grabbing his
and a
ass.
counter.
Yep, there we go.
Grabbing his ass. Counter. Tombstone.
Boop.
That's
Big
such a
tombstone.
cool move.
Is it great?
Oh,
Yeah.
of course. It's
And
great.
of course, is the ref still dead?
These
And then
days, I look up.
he completely forgets that he beat the shit out of the ref and the ref's gone.
Yes.
He completely forgets that.
Yeah. He gets.
And there's no replacement ref that's come out.
Yeah.
You know, like the
it's-
the tombstone was one that carried on, of course, but the pile drivers got banned, didn't
Yeah.
they? Quite rightly, really, because they went
But-
wrong all the time.
Yeah, luckily, I think Undertaker has the safest pile driver there is because the
Because
others don't have because others kind of the head's a lot closer, whereas his is mainly all the knees.
Yeah.
You know,
He sort of just lands on
Yeah.
his knees, which I imagine probably doesn't hurt.
it's technically not a proper pile driver, is it?
No,
Pile driver would be mainly the neck that goes into, like the head that
time
goes
for
into.
the
Triple H has picked up the
Counter.
sledgehammer.
Sledgehammer's here. Oh,
Oh,
big fit.
That's not gonna hurt. 'cause it's like
That I'd imagine would still. I mean,
a thick bit of rubber.
Yeah, I mean, so coming to thick bit of rubber and Triple H just landing right on him. He
refs
falls down.
up.
Refs up. 2. Oh, big kick
That's
out.
a
It still
selling.
kind of touches.
Yeah,
I love
Two.
the selling.
2.
yep. 2. The metal 2. By the ref there.
Too sweet.
Yeah, too sweet.
That looked
Oh,
great.
he actually he hits with the wooden bit, not the. He hits with the wooden bit. If you saw, he actually held
Oh,
the sledgehammer
there's the
by
blading.
the rubber and hits with the
Some
wooden bit.
blading.
Yeah, there's some blood.
There we go. There's the blading.
Corner punches time. Oh, Triple H is getting up. What could go wrong here? Triple H getting up to the corner punch. What could go wrong? Oh. Time to do some posing, but nope. It's time.
And here it comes.
Here it comes.
Last
That's
ride.
right.
What a finisher that is.
Yes. That is a basically just dropping in for a great height. 3.
Good match.
rolling,
Fantastic
match,
match.
yeah.
keep rolling, rolling, rolling.
I'm going to give that an A minus.
It's an A from me.
I'm going to be controversial and give it a B
Oh.
because this felt quite long. And there was a lot of
Yeah.
filler, and the whole there's
Suppose so.
I know the whole walking brawly bit was basically meant to go to that spot, but there was
Yeah,
there's
'cause-
a good chunk of it is walking brawly, and also the whole ref being out for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, the ref
longer.
bump was a bit stupid.
Yeah, they
but
knocked it down for me, but it was a good match. Yeah,
this was this
Yeah.
wasn't my favorite so far. It was still the TLC match, but this was close after TLC.
yeah, I've still got the TLC match as my favorite as well.
The Benoit Angle match was my favourite.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can see that. I think I had that closely behind
Yeah, I think
behind this.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the sledgehammer spot, I just really he hit with the wood rather than the
yeah.
sledgehammer head.
Did Triple H hit a pedigree during that match?
No.
No, he didn't, did he?
No, he didn't. I think the only finisher he tried was the Undertaker stuff, wasn't it? He didn't really get much of a shot.
Yeah,
did
he didn't get as much offense as you would think.
Yeah,
You're so used to Triple H in the main event or whatever, and hitting about 12 pedigrees.
Reign of Terror.
yeah. Reign of Terror, Triple H. Yep, there's a blooded Undertaker trying to rev his bike, or just revving his bike.
It's certainly a visual,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good visual to be fair.
but no,
Yeah.
I do prefer Dead Man
Yeah.
rather than
Yeah.
Biker.
Yeah,
Biker
at the time,
Biker.
though, at the time,
makes
though, it was
sense.
very
Yeah.
popular.
It does make sense, but character-wise,
hand
it's
up.
just
Yeah.
better.
Yeah. Very big hand. The big fist. Not SmackDown fist, something.
Whoa,
No, here's a rock.
big boy.
It was a bit. There's a bit of mixed reaction to the Rock. You'd say there was sort of like, even though he was the heel, there was quite a bit of cheers.
Yeah. It's because he's liked, and
Yeah,
there he
yeah.
is.
There he is.
We
there
have
is,
to remember where this pay-per-view is taking place
of
as
course,
well,
yeah.
folks.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Texas.
it's taking place in Texas, Austin.
That's
so-
why The Rock's the
home
heel.
states.
But obviously he is. But like that's why he's the perfect choice for a heel here because Mr. Stone Cold.
The design of these belts is so much better than what you have now, as well. Look at how cool that belt is.
I don't think I had that
cool.
because I need to do it again. But I ranked the belts to the tier list. I don't
Yeah.
think I had that high. I'm not sure. It just
Oh, it looks great.
oh
Oh.
fuck.
Time for the best hype
Oh.
package ever.
Yes, the hype package is amazing.
Special. You do. I can see it in your eyes.
We have to remember just how big these two were as well.
Yeah.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
yeah.
megastars.
There's never
What a
been
match.
like the only one I'd compare to the other ones that they did is the Hulk Hogan Rock one for the hype that was around it at the time.
Yeah.
Which you wouldn't remember, would you? You're too young, but
Yeah. Oh, here
just
comes,
literally
here
Rock
comes
Stone
Austin
Cold was just
Yeah. I'm not really sure why Deborah was inserted into this angle.
no, it doesn't even matter, does it?
No.
Just forget about it.
Yeah, they
That's
just,
actually
they've just forgotten
starts.
about it. No, I don't think that does Deborah come out? Deborah comes out of the Rock, but I don't think she really does anything. does
No.
she?
I don't think so, no. But they announced it as no DQ literally seconds before.
They do.
So I think
They do.
probably when this was what they were going to do was lame. So let's chuck that in and
Yeah,
stick some outside the ring stuff in and stuff. To be honest.
we will talk about that as well because there's some spots that are a little bit confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Rock sells us something really well. Just one of those.
Oh, yeah.
Just this whole big floppy.
I love
Things.
the second jump after.
Yeah.
When someone does that, it's amazing, and Rock was the best at it.
Oh,
Yeah. The flip into the ropes with the floppy legs is the best.
yeah.
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 Stunner.
Yeah, when he rolls
There he
back
goes.
there. No one's ever sold the stunner like the Rock, have
No.
they?
Rock bottom. Rock bottom.
Rock bottom is so iconic as well. But it's just literally a very, very basic move.
I-
Yeah, it's just sort of just
Yeah,
a slam,
it's
isn't it?
but both his
so, but still very successful for an ex-wrestler.
Yeah,
I mean, if you compare him to like the Big Show and people like that who've done, they're usually doing silly gimmicky things,
Yeah.
aren't they? Because they can't act. They're just there for the look. But
Yeah.
Stone Cold genuinely can act.
All right, here we go. Get ready for the pop very soon.
There's the adding of the no disqualification, just randomly in the middle of nothing.
Yeah, the announcer seemed very confused by it, as is everyone.
I
That's the pop.
actually prefer this one, Rock Stone Cold, as a just genuine wrestling match. I think adding no DQ to it was just silly, to be honest. I don't think it was necessary.
I think it definitely makes it. I do think it. I do like it. I do like it as an ODQ as well. They could have just had it as a normal wrestling match, but
I don't like this
Does
Stone
add an
Cold theme
extra.
with the added rap in the background either. It was better just as the music.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I still like this one though. Like sort of the whole little rap thing does fit it quite well, I think. And I suppose if you go into the more heel thing, it's sort of if he's turning spoilers later on.
Really? He turns?
Yeah, he turns
Whoa.
turns into Linda McMahon.
I mean, you can see here as well. I believe in a minute we're going to see him fiddle with his knees, the braces on his knees, quite
his
a
braces
lot.
are awful. Yeah.
So he's at this stage. He's coming to the end, isn't he? Good style.
Yeah. He didn't do many matches after this.
Yeah,
No.
the last one he did was 19, I think, versus The Rock. And then he then he just became the world GM after that, I think. And did all
Yeah,
I mean, his
2003
era.
did.
Yeah.
yeah.
His era as a megastar didn't last too long, did it?
No,
Like,
it was very
sort of
short.
97 to 2001 too, really.
Yeah, it's sort of like a very much a flash in the pan compared to some competitive wrestlers like like a John Cena or whatever. Also,
Or Undertaker.
yeah.
I don't like this theme that much. Because there was another one which was better.
The later one added a bit to it, but and the
Yeah.
earlier one was more basic.
Yeah, there was
But
Austin Fiddler
it's
in his
still
knee pads.
great.
I didn't hear it. But was there? Can you smell what the Rock's cooking at the
I
start?
think it was. Wasn't it?
I think so.
I think there
I
was.
didn't hear it though.
I think there was because that was.
Hmm.
I think he had that thing from relatively early on, I think. To be fair, it could have been drowned out by the crowd noise because that was a big old pop.
I remember as a little kid, like wanting to be the Rock like that, chucking the belt in the air and all that sort of stuff. How old had I been? 10, 12?
No, little Tim.
Little Tim.
Little
Were
Tim.
you even born at this stage, you two?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, we would have been 2, or Eloise would have been 1.
Wow.
Because she's a
Wait.
baby.
Feel so old.
I'm really gonna get into this. Yes. Actually, this would have been 21 days before my first birthday, so I wasn't even 1 at this point.
Wow.
I think I wouldn't even been 2 then, because of your birthday.
Yeah, you would have been. Yeah.
Nope. Already going for a belt shot. Not early on.
Boom.
In first press.
Listen to that crowd.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, yeah, it's a huge match.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't like that. Just looking at the knees. Oh.
The crowd are lapping up absolutely everything. Paul Heyman's fantastic as well
Yeah, he
on
is.
commentary.
Oh, of course, yeah. I really liked the duo and the commentary. Like,
Yeah.
it was fantastic, and I'm glad it's not Jerry Lawler. Honestly, his commentary's not great.
Yeah.
You can
bet-
see Stone Cold's knees aren't great.
No.
at
He was
times.
but before when he was just doing basic knee bumps, it just hurt me to
Yeah.
see. I was cringing. You could see I was cringing,
Yeah.
and
The
I will be
Rock's-
cringing. Oh,
There you
he's
go.
filling
There,
up
so
again.
he's strapping him up.
Knee strap time.
But like The Rock is just a consummate athlete as well. Like the way he can chuck himself about.
It's time,
is just-
it's time for this spot.
You could see them trying to fiddle with the Spanish announce table to try to make it more functional, and it's just not gonna work.
Yeah, not gonna work. No,
They're really trying to make.
No, they're just sitting there and sort of just watch along the two announcers, aren't they?
Yeah,
they can't
it's always that table.
Yeah,
they do have the monitors.
I'm not a huge fan of these fighting through the crowd bits because it just turns into a mess.
It does.
I can sort of understand the point of it because it sort of adds to the whole big chaotic sort of energy.
Yeah,
that is meant to think. But after
I mean,
a while,
what was the point in that?
I think this is going to be a good spot.
Yeah.
Oh wait! Is this now?
Of course, it was the.
Oh wait, no, it's not yet. It's not yet.
No, the. That's later on, I think. There we go. Irish up there, trying to go into a very. Is that a clothesline or is that a lariat? That's a lariat, isn't it? When it's still
again.
Something still.
Yeah. Fiddling with the knees again.
Yep. Fiddling with the strap.
Yeah, they're really bothering him, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so I think he brings him back in the ring and then does something. There's something a little heelish.
And stamping. And it's the rope time and just tries to choke the Rock on the rope, isn't he? Basically.
See, there was no rope countdown there. There was no rope countdown there.
No. Well, why is the referee getting on his back for doing things? Because he's only there to see the count, isn't he?
Yeah.
They're allowed to tell them to stop in these matches. They do that, but they have no authority to stop it.
Just ignore them, can't they? Basically.
Yeah. They normally tell them to stop.
Looks positioned himself on top of it, but are we going to? Does that seem doesn't do very much? Let's say he's on the second rope. He's on his he's on Brett's rope. Gonna go for a superplex.
Lovely.
Nice superplex.
Look at the selling.
Rock is the Rock is just going pure screaming. And Austin's already
there it is.
Austin's already getting frustrated.
Turnbuckle removed.
So he's immediately
Very
going to the
heelish.
Wink. What could happen here? I wonder. What could happen here?
Yes, because this is the second turnbuckle removing.
Yeah,
because,
it happened in the first match with Regal removed the turnbuckle.
With Regal, and then goes into the turnbuckle at the end.
Yes, we'll see. We'll see happens to the turnbuckle in a bit, I'm sure. That is a very, very, very high jump for that elbow there.
Very high pace this as well.
Yeah, the bits when they're in the ring and sort of just doing the whole whipping everyone off the ropes and whacking him off is great. And
this is clearly designed to move at 1,000 miles an hour. This match. The Triple H Undertaker one was a lot slower.
Yep.
It does lull a little bit, but yeah, it does go quick at times.
Yeah.
All right, I think we're close to
the greatest spot of all time. There he goes. Bringing us.
Oh God, here we go.
Whacks his head off it. And goes for whack. No, what's he doing? Nope. He's just waiting the time to go up. It's time for the ring bell, and
it's a shame it wasn't rung. It never rung, and it needs to be rung in those spots.
It goes back over the steps.
He just falls ass backwards off the steps. It's amazing.
I'm pretty sure The Rock apologized to him then.
Yeah, that should have done ding. That didn't go ding.
Yeah.
That needs to go ding in that moment.
No, it's guess this.
I think we're getting close.
This is
if you breathe on a ref, they usually collapse and fall down.
Yeah.
That should have killed him.
Yeah. It was nope. Poor timekeeper should have been shoved away again.
He's just abusing.
Just been abused twice in two matches. Poor thing. Nope. The
Rock's
Rock
bladed
has
there.
just bladed, I think, because it's not so much blood.
Yeah.
Which I suppose makes sense because there's a ring bell shot. The ring bell shots always do tend to go into the big blood time.
It's amazing how these guys don't have massive scars going on all the
Yeah,
time.
Because they hide it. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
yeah. A few of them do. Like who is it? The
Bong.
Bong.
Oh, some of them took it to
Bong.
extremes though.
Quite-
Um,
And then if you look out your corner of your eye, he climbs
Climbs
over
on
the
the table.
table, climbs over the table, and he breaks it. He climbs to just completely collapses the table.
And Dustin just looks back and just goes, "What?"
Yeah, because I think there must have been a spot there
Yeah.
because they probably what they do is they click something so it becomes collapsible.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
The Rock just
just collapsed on its own. It seemed very confused. Did you sort of improvise well, but also just sort of just get some just immediately decide to start
it's like
whacking it?
there's not been many botches in this pay-per-view, but
No,
so
that
it can be
wasn't-
forgiven.
Yeah, it was quite funny,
No.
though, wasn't it?
It was funny. It was
Yeah.
rather funny.
Yeah.
I mean, the Rock selling is very daft.
I mean, that's
It is, yeah.
It's to the extreme, but it works, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And some people don't like that. That's
Yeah.
why I think less people do it because
Nope.
they think it's really
Nope.
corny.
Flipping bird to the ref there by Austin. He's trying to tell the ref to suck it because no do keep probably. For some reason, it's now there's no disqualification. As I think Aben just said, because it's did I mention that? To be fair, it's you would have thought that we would have tried to hide it, but
Yeah.
maybe it's meant to like lead up to the whole thing that happens later on.
Lovely swinging neck breaker then.
Yeah, there's been Triple H did a few of those in the last match. We didn't really mention it, but did you like his the neck breakers like sort of like a transitional move?
Is Stone Cold's tattoo there the state of Texas? I've just noticed. It looks a bit like the state of Texas.
Wait, which
If I'm
one?
wrong, tell me in the comments, people.
Yes.
Does he
Shout
have a
at Tim.
long
Ankle.
horn? I'm trying to
Yeah.
remember.
Shout at Tim, everyone, if he's wrong.
Someone will know.
I'm trying to think where it is now.
I can see the tattoo. I can see the. Is that? Don't think.
The little red tattoo on his ankle.
I don't think it is. It seems.
I think it's the Longhorn. Let
I
me.
think it's
let
a
me
long
have a
call.
look.
Yeah.
Never noticed it before. Going on a little bit this section in the middle here with the corner
Yeah.
action.
Yeah, it's sort of leading up to
It
the big spot with the.
Why is Earl Hebner trying to break anything up? It's no DQ.
It is a red state of Texas with a Longhorn in the middle.
Okay, so
Ah.
you're both right.
Yeah.
The best ending.
Oh,
Yeah, because
there we go.
Yep, ref
Attacking
bump,
the ref.
ref bump time. He doesn't.
It's not a ref bump. He's
Yeah.
just attacking them.
Yeah, to be fair,
Heelish.
yeah, to be fair,
Boom.
it's
That
not
was
dead
good.
yet. Yes,
That was good.
Yeah.
that was a good winning clothesline. Yep. Or winning lariats, whichever one it is.
So you take for granted as well, like the way the crowds were back then. Because listen to it, everything they do, it gets a massive reaction. You don't get that anymore. For that,
Oh.
they're selling on that. When he went over on his neck.
I think he just went into turnbuckle that
And
he
it's
did.
Blady time, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what.
Usually is when they cut away like
Yeah,
that.
it would. Yeah, they're gonna be bleeding now.
Been doing it there.
Yeah, revenge
Wow.
time the ring bell. Yes, you just saw his hand sort of move down towards his thigh.
Yeah, there we go. It's got blood. Yeah.
That's probably
Yeah, I
gonna
wrote
get
on my
much,
notes that they're both bleeding now, so
yeah.
you can tell.
Yeah, gonna get much worse with the ring bell shot.
Ooh.
Revenge.
I mean, that was nowhere near his head.
No.
That bell shot then.
Of
It was
course
about 3
not,
miles
but-
away.
Yeah.
Oof.
2.
2 count.
No.
2 count.
2. Yeah. No, the exposed turnbuckle strikes again.
Yeah.
No. The it was like Austin did it like a. It was quite a while ago actually. It was a decently long callback. And he comes. He's gonna go for the.
Interestingly, I remember as a kid, like really, really loving The Rock, like absolutely adoring The Rock, and not really liking Stone Cold as much. Whereas everyone seemed to love Stone Cold when you look back on it. I wasn't like that. I used to be a Rock fan.
Yeah, I can definitely see why The Rock would be more liked.
So maybe The Rock was kind of like the John Cena of that period, where it was like the kids were supposed to love him. Because I was a kid once, a long time ago.
You were, yeah.
Yep.
18th century.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep. Back in the olden days where they had to listen on the radio.
When internet used to crackle when you started it up. Beep, blah, bloop, bleep, bleep, bloop, like that.
Back in my day.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yep. Austin just falls to the floor. God, that is a big splat of blood that fell off Austin's head.
Yeah,
on the
blood.
floor. It stains the floor, like it goes really, really bright red on that floor.
Yeah.
Oof.
Austin's not doesn't want to be slammed into the turnbuckle. Nope, he's not doing it. Big flank.
I don't know why they've gone back to this corner again, because I've already done a spot in this corner.
Nope.
I mean, it's perfect corner to do spots in.
I suppose it's close enough to the announce table
Camera.
and stuff where you can and camera as well, of course, yeah.
It's perfect for camera. Oh, here we go. This is good. This is good.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah, that
Yep,
is
good
a great
catapult.
slingshot, yeah. Good catapult, yeah. Look is again selling it like a champ.
Yeah, consummate actor.
Yeah.
Wrestling is just as much about acting as it is wrestling.
Yep.
Yep.
They forgot that somewhere along the way. Even the ones who weren't so good on the microphone, they could still act in the ring.
Yep, they were trying to.
Here we go.
Trying
This is nasty.
Yes.
Monitor to the head.
There, it's disconnected. Boom.
Oh.
And just imagine knowing what those machines were like.
They're probably really.
That's got to be
heavy.
hot to the touch.
Yeah.
That's probably heavy and hot to the touch because it's been in use.
Yeah, like it's like an active monitor, isn't it? You can see the lights
touching that
yeah.
wouldn't have been great. Poor Spanish announce table, and I've got one monitor.
Yep. Sharing same monitor, just sort of looking down at it from their, sort of looking down at it. On
Yeah,
the
they're just looking
table.
down.
Yeah.
I've never seen a pay-per-view where they've got that really flimsy table on one side for the Spanish, and then the actual announce table with the foldy up things on the top of it and whatnot before.
Because early in the match the Spanish announce table had the exact same as the normal, but they didn't. They had the exact same table.
Yeah,
Shane
going
goes
for it.
Yeah. Vince was on it, and
Okay,
then the
Shane,
elbow.
the elbow.
There we go, middle fingers. And then they replaced it with that wooden table, which then was a spot in this.
And here comes the Rock sharpshooter.
Here comes the sharpshooter.
This is cringy because of his knees.
Somewhere
really
Bret
cringy because
Hart
of his knees.
was throwing beer at the television screen.
Yeah, turning in his grave even though he's not dead.
Yeah, his knees. I just don't like looking at because his knees.
Yeah, his knees are really taking a run to that, isn't it? To be fair, imagine that it's like for a lot of wrestling girls. I know they're inverted commas not real, but imagine they still bloody hurt.
I have a theory that this spot here was kept in the match because it looks cool.
Yeah.
But this was in before they changed it to no DQ.
Yep.
Because it makes no sense.
Yeah.
That's our theory too.
Yeah.
Why is he trying to get to the rope?
Yeah. And it's a
I mean,
and it's a
to pull
callback.
himself out the ring, if they didn't do this spot, it would be to pull himself out the ring, but
Yeah.
there's going to be a rope break.
Yeah.
See, now Earl Hebner's telling him to break. Why does he break?
Yeah, I think the
Doesn't
reason he
make
did
any
that spot
sense.
was to call back to the WrestleMania 13 match, the Brett and Austin one. Because they used the exact same angle where, with Austin bloodied and screaming in pain from the sharpshooter that made him. That was.
Again, he adjusted his knee brace again.
Just
Then.
knee brace
Also,
rolling over.
I think you'll notice that we'll soon get to another. We'll soon get to another finisher, but the Rock let go straight away, very very face like. Whereas you notice in this match, there's little hints that Austin's a lot more heelish. You know,
they are sort of hinting.
They are hinting heelish. So yeah, sharpshooter. He's in a sharpshooter, which looks a little bit better, but it still looks like it hurts.
That's a rubbish.
I like how he's sitting down low, but yeah, it's not Bret Hart, but that blood's crazy.
Yeah. I don't think
That's something that disintegrated over time. The Walls of Jericho as well. He used to do that so well, and then as time went on, it just became that. Virtually.
It served its purpose, you know.
The Walls of Jericho
does
used
it
to be
from
so
time to time.
cool.
Oh yeah, agreed. But it served its purpose, you know. He evolved his character into a new finisher.
Yeah.
Oh, that looked good.
The Rock. Yeah, The Rock selling it makes it look so good. He's so good at selling things.
I think him and Shawn Michaels are one of the best sellers.
Yeah, Shawn Michaels, man. What a guy.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant.
Right, here we go again. I think there's a rope break after this one.
Too many sharpshooters going on. It's daft.
There is. It is kind of.
I suppose they're trying to trade finishes and do that sort of spot, aren't they? But
they are.
Yeah, it's like
that looks sloppy there.
Yeah, I think Austin was in too much pain from having to bend down so much for the other sharps because he was putting a lot of pressure on his knees.
And then look, Austin does his normal thing, but it's very heelish to hold it, you know?
Yeah.
He looks so uncomfortable applying moves like that with his knees. Like,
yeah, it looked really sloppy, that one. That one looked really sloppy because he didn't have it properly.
Yeah, imagine he's he's probably a shit ton of pain because of his knees after that first one because he was properly weighing on his putting all his weight on him. You know, this is cool. I like this because I do like this one. Like I know it's a sleeper hole, but it's again another good callback to the to what he did.
$1 Million Dream.
$1 Million Dream, yeah. When he was when he came.
I like it when.
Ring
I like it when wrestlers use like older moves to kind of like go in their arsenal really and kind of show their old characters.
It's sort of just reaching down to the depths and trying to
out,
it's
kind of racking your brain. It's not working, so just try this. Also, I like this spot where they hold the arm out, the limp.
To be fair, it's a perfect position to do a certain something. That's a nice little escape, to be fair.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to.
I think I know what happens next.
We haven't had a people's elbow in this match, have we?
Well, we'd had much.
I think it does happen.
Really? Yeah, it does happen later on. But...
Yeah, it does happen.
Yeah, the Rock hasn't really done any finishes at all, has he? From memory.
No, it's been a little bit.
Yeah. This is sort of Austin's portion, I guess, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Probably trying to show his desperation. He's just trying to work through everything he's got, basically.
Stunner.
Austin isn't very good at selling his own finisher, is he?
No,
to be fair, I suppose it's as you come down, then you've got to spring out of it. So if your knees are absolutely ruined, you've got no spring, have you?
Definitely.
Whereas The Rock has got lots of spring, as we'll see later on.
So Austin's down. It's not looking good suddenly.
Hey.
Listen to the crowd, man.
Yeah.
So stirred up.
So hot. Yeah.
Here we are.
Here he
There
comes.
he
Here
comes.
comes
It's not
Vince.
looking good. It's not looking good for Austin. So who comes out?
Yeah. I'm going to be honest, he's not really selling the match he had earlier with Shane, is he? Like, he's sort of walking down. He's got a
I mean,
bit
he
of a
looks beat up. He looks
limp.
beat up
I
and
suppose he looks beat
exhausted.
up, but seeing as he was just battered and whacked and everything by Shane, I suppose he's, yeah.
I mean, he's not running down to the ring, is he?
No. Yeah.
I don't
he looks-
understand. I mean, spoilers and all that, but we know what's about to happen, and Austin's going to turn heel, and proper heel, not like Austin heel. He's gonna side with Vince.
Yeah, he
When
was like anti-hero kind of.
Yeah,
but
when
now
you're
it's
thinking about
proper
it from
heel.
a merch point of view, if you're sending all those 80,000 or 90,000 people home disappointed from Texas in your hero who's just turned heel,
It makes no
you're
sense to
surely
do in
losing
Texas.
money
Yeah.
as well, which is something they'd never do, is it? Which is strange.
Creates lots of heat though. Doing it in Texas, it's a lot of heat.
Yeah, but are they
But-
then people going to want to buy Austin merch after this?
Depends what you
Interesting
like.
thing.
Some people like bad guys, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
dang.
Oh, here it comes. Here it comes.
Look at the Spinebuster Zone. It's time for the most electrifying move in sports entertainment.
You know the story
The
about where
roll-up.
the people's elbow came
roll-up.
from? It was a joke between him and Triple H, I think, and Triple H sort of bet him that he wouldn't do it at a house show, and he did it like this, throwing the thing and
There you
the
go,
whatnot, and the
fingers.
silly bounce off the ropes. And he kept it as a finisher afterwards because it got a good reaction.
Dancey dance.
Doesn't even
Big
fucking
elbow.
hit him, but
it
it
does,
just
but-
something about it.
Yeah.
He's
Oh.
tugging on his neck.
Definitely
This is,
He's tugging on his knee brace to do it, and yeah,
Yeah.
Vince comes in.
I like the way he held that. He grabbed him at one and didn't pull him off till two.
Yeah. And The Rock is probably the Rock's confused, as he would be, to be fair. And
'cause you-
and Vince.
This is great.
Vince knows what happens. It's time for the Benny Hill, the Benny Hill sequence of the match.
The
And
Rock
then-
clearly jogging there as well.
Yeah.
Rock bottom.
Rock bottom. Rock bottom.
They both not hit their finishers, but hit each other's finishers.
Yeah.
Oh no! I just read in my notes. Oh no!
See him calling the match there between the two
Yeah,
of them,
definitely.
deciding what's next.
Yeah.
It's interesting seeing like looking close and seeing the details of them talking
Yeah.
to each other.
Yeah. Sort of just. Yeah. Just,
Ref bump.
Hey, there he goes.
It's like third ref bump. That's a
Yeah.
lot of ref bumps
Yeah.
in one night.
Again, they don't really need a ref bump here, do they? It is no DQ.
No.
But-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes me think that was planned in advance. Oh, dick punch. No,
There we go.
Getting
Yeah.
in the chair.
give him the chair.
Vince is getting Austin in the chair.
Well, I actually think he's.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, the crowd's reaction sort of confusion at this point, isn't it? They don't really know what's going on.
No.
Cringe time.
Yeah.
Ooh, well,
He kind of holds
He-
it, but I still don't
well-
like it.
so it sort of got a hand in a way, didn't it?
That looked for all
Yeah.
the world like The Rock was going to duck out of the way and he was going to
Yeah,
hit
gonna
Austin.
hit, gonna
didn't
hit
he?
Austin. Yeah. No, there's no ref.
There is
He's
now.
getting a ref
Vince has
in.
thrown him back in. 1, 2.
Slow count.
Two, three.
There's an edited out swear word there.
Yep.
He's angry now.
Yeah, you can say it's
He's gonna-
it's because he's I think Austin's really selling the whole frustration thing. He's really
He's going to go wild with this chair.
yeah.
And then
Rock
rock
bottom out of
bottom.
nowhere.
Holding the chair as well, which was
Yeah.
pretty impressive.
then
oh, Vince comes into the
Heel kill Vince, like usual.
Yeah, giving him peace of mind. Oh, the Rock's just time to just
Boom.
time to go in the ring. Wasn't able to get him in the ring properly, but he made his way.
No.
Fuck.
The Rock lays the smackdown on
Fuck.
Vince.
Rock. Really.
Austin with the
Stunner.
stunner, and look at the selling. Oh,
Yeah.
glorious.
That's good.
Just
Almost
like
saw
on
his
the
bloody
old
head.
video games.
2. And he kicks out of that.
Yep.
So it's going to take him wailing on him with a chair for 10 minutes to kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a. This is I think again. This is another thing in this match. I could have gone on a bit shorter.
Yeah.
This bit is coming.
To the swing. Oh.
I hate that so much.
Ooh.
That's my least favorite bump.
It's his hands, to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
fair.
yeah.
He's
I
shoved his
know,
hands
but-
up into
Yeah,
his
the Rock
face.
is the Rock is being quite sensible. Oh, kicks
Yeah.
out
Yeah,
again.
it still looks gross.
Unlike that Royal Rumble where he tried to kill Mick
Oh
Foley.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why I don't like them so much after seeing that. It was like 30 odd.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
really
His kids was
tough to
watching.
watch. Oh,
His kids were
God.
watching.
The match is just a general short to watch because after with that.
It is genuinely tough to watch that
Yeah.
back. Is it 97, that one? Or 98,
98
maybe?
Time for
There we go.
Time for a pointy chair shot. Again, Rock's doing a very good job of selling there. I know he's meant to be basically dead at this point, but he's still doing a very good job at selling the pain of every single chair shot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Vince,
I like to call this the
loving
dead
every
fish.
moment.
Yeah.
Or the flopping fish.
Two, three, and it's over.
The crowd are cheering? Question mark.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of them are happy that Austin won because it's. But they're like, should I be happy?
Yeah,
So I just sticking their middle fingers up. So.
yeah. The crowd are. The word. I think the word is confused. more than anything
Yeah,
else.
confused, I agree.
Yep.
And here we go.
Time for the handshake of doom.
Paul Heyman
Shaking
selling
hands
it
with Satan
perfectly.
himself.
They're shaking hands!
I mean, it is. I do
Solid,
like the
solid.
swerve, but knowing the context, I can see it being a lot more disappointing. But
Yeah.
I think it is a great swerve. But it
think when
wasn't
you-
maybe
yeah.
done well. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Need to do things differently or things get stale, don't they? So it's
Yeah.
doing something different.
Yeah, it's doing something. Yeah, they're trying something different, but I suppose it didn't really work at the end of the day, is it? But
So,
However,
scores.
if I'm isolating this, not with any context before or after, match. Best match of the night, hands down. Outstanding. It just had spots, it had fantastic wrestling, it was quick, it was slow, it flowed in the right places, it stopped at the right places, there was great bumps, good twists. What more can you ask for?
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to go for an A.
I'm going to give it an A. I'm not getting an A plus just because some bits did drag on a bit, but I suppose that's what you got to get for this sort of style of match. But
That has to be peaks and flows.
it has to be peaks and flows, yeah. But I'd say the bits with the there were a couple of times where it did seem like towards the end Rock was kicking out literally every single thing, which again they're trying to sell the Rock as this big heroic baby.
That's a big match.
Yeah.
But, I think they're just trying to get over
Yeah.
the point that it took the betrayal to get
Yeah.
to
It just-
win
yeah.
Austin the title.
It took cheating.
Yeah.
because The Rock was so strong.
It was getting towards the point of being overdone, but it didn't really get to that fully, I think, from my opinion. But so
No.
yeah, hey, it's still brilliant.
Yeah.
So,
Great,
but-
brilliant match.
That's the end of the show.
Yep. Let's see if we can pause it. There we go.
I think it's. Yeah, it's just the
Just the
Stone
big,
Cold
the big
He's-
gap
he's-
in the
he's
rock.
gonna-
He's
hit
call
him
that
with
again. The match
title
is
again.
over.
Oh yeah, he does that in the.
Bang.
So, shall we wrap this up, folks?
Yep. Right. What do we all give the overall show then?
Oh yeah.
Start with Eloise.
You want to lose?
B. It was good. It wasn't. It's not the best pay-per-view I've watched. It's not the worst. You know. It was good. I was expecting more. Like there was lots of matches that weren't good, and only the end, like the start was kind of boringish, and I expected more, but good pay-per-view, good.
Yeah.
I liked it, yeah. So yeah, B.
I'm gonna give it a B plus. Basically, really good pay-per-view. But there was the let's say so, Angle Benoit, TLC, last match. Triple H Undertaker was very good as well. Those 04 brilliant matches. Give me Battle Royal, of course, greatest match of all time. But it could have done with a few things changing, like a few of the matches. Like I know they're built up over time, but Eddie Test and the 6-person tag, like the China Ivory thing. I know it was a throwaway match, but I can understand it being put in there just to build up, China, basically. But yeah, it wasn't great, but I can understand it being put in there. The other two, could have been safe for like a. Did they have a pre-show? They had Sunday Night Heat at that point, didn't they? It did seem like it could have been shoved on there. But I would have got rid of those matches, made Jericho, Regal go longer, and I mean he could have kept Eddie Test and made that go longer as well, but I don't think that was needed. Yeah. Great. B plus.
I'm going to give it an A. I think it's the best WrestleMania of all time overall. The card is very stacked. What we mustn't forget is that back in the day there, I know that there's lots and lots of legends now when we look back at it, like Eddie Guerrero and Chris Jericho was barely used. But there's a reason, and it's because the card was so ridiculously stacked full of monstrous, ridiculously good talent. So I think what you've got to remember is when you're building a show like that, you've got to make it peak at the right time, and you want it to peak at the end, and that's exactly what it did. So you can't have every match be a classic. It adds the Benoit match was gold standard. The TLC was gold standard. Undertaker Triple H was near gold standard, I'd say, and then the last one was gold standard. So it did its job. So I'm going to give it an A. I think the best WrestleMania there's ever been, personally. And I was there. I watched it back in the day as a child. So maybe I'm biased. You two were babies.
Yes. Literal babies.
Yeah, literal.
Yeah, literal babies, yes. Anyway, that I think wraps things up unless we have any more comments on the show. Yep.
It's been fun. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. We've had fun. I hope you've had fun listening to us ramble on for 3 hours or whatever it's been.
Chat shit.
Thank you very much. We'll see you for the next one.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye, folks.
Go and follow us all on Twitch, by the way.
Please do.
The things we're here. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Socials.